Okay, good evening or good afternoon, everyone. Again, I want to welcome you to the Rules and Election Committee hearing. Members on this committee are Mr. Tom LaBonge, who's seated to my right, Mr. Mitch Englander. We have expanded this committee. Generally, it's just 3 members, but we've expanded it to 5, and I do anticipate one other member will attend before we finish tonight's proceedings. With that said, the way that we will start things off today is I will bring up in fact, we are now joined by the newest member of the council, Joe Buscaino. We'll start this out. We'll have the CLA's office with the city attorney. If you guys would come forward, explain to the people who took time from their busy schedules to be with us today where we are, how this committee proceeding will go tonight, and how we plan to proceed in the future, and what's the timeline and things of this nature. So at this point, I'd like to ask Mr. Jerry Miller to please begin tonight's event.
Okay. In terms of this committee process, of course, you had your first committee meeting last week, and you're having a series of 3 public hearings, one down in San Pedro on Monday, one in the Valley last night, and this hearing today. The committee asked that any council members who want to have any changes to the maps submit those to my office no later than tomorrow. It is important that we do get those maps, and again, I remind anyone who's listening, the council members, that we do have Dave Ely on contract, who's a mapping expert. So the sooner the better, the more information we have, the better in terms of any information. Now, once we receive that, my staff working with city attorney will evaluate the impacts of any proposed changes, whether or not there are changes in the voting or population variances and other issues, and then work with city attorney on Voting Rights Act compliance. And then we'll be putting a report together back to this committee and to the full council. That's scheduled for March 16th. Now, once that happens, assuming that the council acts on March 16th on instructions on a map, then the city attorney then has to draft an ordinance, and the Bureau of Engineering has to do what's called a meets and bounds, which is a legal description of all of the properties within each and every of the districts. That process, depending upon how complicated it gets, could take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. Again, in your based on your schedule, then you wouldn't have an ordinance to consider until early May. And again, the way ordinances work, unless they're unanimous on first reading, they would require 2 readings at least a week apart. And then the mayor, of course, would have to sign the ordinance, and would have some time, of course, if there were, we would have to plan in the possibility of a veto of an ordinance. And then the ordinance has to be published. So that would be the process here. Now, once you do give instructions on the city council district maps, you then have to take up the issue of the LAUSD maps. They also have to be in place by July 1st.
Okay, Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Weston. Dean O'Connell, Deputy City Attorney. Our office has our office has reviewed the Commission's proposed map with city staff and city consultants. Our review is based on the information available to us, information contained in the record of the Commission's proceedings, the justifications provided by the Commission in its report accompanying the proposed map, the inherent policy discretion of the Commission, and ultimately the Council in this area. We believe that the Commission's proposed map is legally defensible under the applicable redistricting law and criteria. Under applicable law, the analysis of any redistricting proposal is fact-specific and, therefore, can be impacted by information not adduced at the time of its adoption. Of course, other options, including amended versions of the proposed map, also may be legally viable. So our review and conclusion is based solely on the information available in the record and as set forth by the Commission in its report. The analysis is very fact-specific and can be impacted by information not available or reduced at the time of the plan's adoption.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. At this time, I'd like to notify everyone that we have translation, if needed, in Spanish, Japanese, and Korean. So now if you guys would make those announcements.
Muy buenas tardes. Si alguien necesita equipo de traducción, esta reunión se está llevando a cabo simultáneamente de inglés al español. Con mucho gusto pase al lado y con un placer le daremos el equipo. Muchas gracias.
네, 한국어 통역이 필요하신 한국어를 하시는 주민분들께서는 앞으로 나오시면 통역기기를 받으실 수가 있습니다. 동시 통역으로 통역을 제공하고 있습니다. 감사합니다.
こちらに日本語の通訳のサービスをしておりますので、通訳の必要、日本語の方は申し出てください。お願いします。
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Okay, we're going to begin. If you guys can remove yourself from the table, but stay available in the event that we need you if there's some more questions. What we're going to do, we're going to begin our public comment period. In fact, Mr. City Attorney, I do need you. Explain what can be spoken to based on the fact that this is a special meeting.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Since this is a special meeting, there is no requirement of general public comment. So there is one item on the agenda of this special meeting agenda, and that is item 1. There is an opportunity for public comment on item 1, but there is no opportunity, nor is there a requirement for general public comment.
Well, we will have public comment on item 1.
That's correct.
All right, so we'll start that out. Everyone will get a minute, and I'll try to give you a little extra time to finish your sentences. So let's get started. I'm going to call 3 names at a time, and if you guys could come up and then go one behind the other. We will start off with Floresci Hogan Rolls, Noel Switzer or Schweitzer, and Sandra Bryant. Please come forward. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. President and council members. I'm Floresci Hogan Rolls, and I am pleased to be here, and I thank you for having these additional hearings because it's really important to us to share with you our views about the redistricting because it will impact us powerfully. I live in Baldwin Hills, and removing Baldwin Hills and Leimert Park from the 8th District is detrimental not only to the economic and voting bloc of the 8th District, but it also hinders a lot of opportunities for folks to, particularly women, to run for office. And I also recognize that there's only one woman left on City Council. So I also recognize that having taken USC out of the district takes away another powerful partner that has been in the 8th District for over 40 years. So I would humbly request that you consider returning as a compromise position, as I recognize Baldwin Vista and Baldwin Village and Village Green are also removed out of the 8th, but if you would consider Baldwin Hills and Leimert Park back into the 8th District. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
My name is Noel Schweitzer.
Oh, I apologize. In fact, I should do that. I want to apologize in advance, and we'll give you your time back if I mispronounce someone's name. We had a hearing last night, and I think maybe I batted 500, but I did miss a lot, so I apologize for not properly calling your name. Please, go on.
No need to apologize. My name is Noel Schweitzer. I began a business 25 years ago of doing affordable housing management and development. In fact, you have one of the projects we manage in your district, Mr. Chairman, and that's Arlington Rodeo. And thank you for the turkeys.
Thank you.
I will say that we have a 80-person staff, numbers of whom live below 35th and Broadway, where my offices are. My primary management has approximately 1,500 units. Again, the majority of my people that we manage live below Washington. If we are restricted, our district, with only the poorest of the poor, which is, I consider my people as well, that is going to hinder our ability to balance the request for funding and consideration. We will no longer have a district which combines both the very poor, which we represent, and those that are well off. It's going to make it harder for us to get funding for our properties, both for the exterior projects that we have and for the existing buildings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Bryant?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and council members. It was in 1965, and as a teenager, I watched the ShopRite Market burn on 20th and Central. It's taken over 44 years for the market to be replaced on 20th and Central when Superior opened in 2009. The work of our council representative, community members, community-based agencies, and the key economic engine of downtown made the difference in bringing a major market in our community. Our center provides services to over 1,400 families who live at the poverty level. And in the last survey, people said that they shopped at the Superior Market for the first time because it was available. I urge you not to adopt this plan, but to keep the 9th District together, because you are creating one of the most poorest districts in this city. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. LaTanya Spann, on behalf of Tom Gilmore, Pastor Albert Nicholas, President Davis, Baptist Ministers Conference. If you three would please come forward. Ms. Spann?
Hello.
Ms. Spann?
I have a statement to read on behalf of Tom Gilmore.
But identify yourself, though.
My name is LaTanya Spann.
Thank you.
Council members, I am sorry I cannot be here speaking to you in person. This matter is extremely important to me, as I believe it is for our city. I, along with many other citizens of Los Angeles, am dumbstruck by the callous treatment they have received at the hands of the Redistricting Commission and members of the City Council. Virtually every media outlet in Los Angeles has commented on the corrupt process that has yielded the result you see before you, and yet we stand here pretending that this farce should continue. The map, as drawn, is indefensible and will hopefully be found illegal. The decimation of the 9th District in particular promises to haunt our city for decades to come, depriving the citizens of the 9th District of any meaningful economic partnership between South LA and the downtown area will ensure that the most pressing problems of homelessness, poverty, and crime will never be adequately addressed in our city. We have seen what happens when we isolate poorer communities, and we have paid for it with human lives. I ask you as council members, but more importantly as caretakers of the city of Los Angeles' future, to reject the political agendas of those who seek to gain at our city's expense, and to rethink your position if you, in particular, are one of those guilty of it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Pastor Nicholas.
I'm Pastor Albert Nicholas of the Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church, and I represent a congregation of approximately 3,000 parishioners and several other churches in the community, and we're concerned about you wanting to take the divide the 9th District. We would love for you to keep downtown with the 9th District because many wonderful things has come to pass because of that being together. And if you will take downtown out, it would make the 9th District one of the poorest, not only councilmatic district in this city, but of just about any city in the country. And so we need for you to keep them together. Things are going much better now. Crime is down. People have enthusiasm. They're excited about life and living. We're asking you, don't take that from them. Keep downtown with the 9th District.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. President Davis, good to see you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and to the members of the council. I'm here to say vote no. What has proposed the redistricting will bring harm to all that are involved in the 9th District. The Rules Committee and City Council need to stop this now. The mayor needs to stop this now. Are you ready? Prepared to do this? If you are, we want to know why. Why would the members of City Council and the mayor harm the people of South Los Angeles? This makes no sense whatsoever, especially now that conditions for the people are better. You should have came to our churches. You should have came to our community. You are invited, Mr. President, to our conference. We had no knowledge of this, but we're saying vote no, 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 vote no.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. At this point in time, I'd like to call forward a former assemblyman of this state, a former state senator from this state, the first African-American the first African-American lieutenant governor, and then from there he went to Congress. And from there, he came back to the California State Assembly, where I was honored to serve with him for 2 years. This is the Honorable Mervyn Dimely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. In drawing districts, I refer to my experience as chair of the Senate Committee on Redistricting and Elections since 1971. As a result of that assignment, we created the first Latino district for Alex Garcia to run for the Senate, a congressional district for Ms. Burke, and a Senate district for Nate Holden. This committee must look at the criteria set forth by the Supreme Court and the Voting Rights Act. The Supreme Court says we must have one man, one vote. And the committee needs to ask, does every district have a mentor of one man, one vote? Second, the voting rights call for representation of minority groups. The committee needs to ask itself, are minority groups represented in this district? And let me say to you, more recently, the people of this state said that residence is not a factor anymore in drawing lines. And subsequently, the U.S. Supreme Court said that redistricting must be done by the legislative bodies. And so let me conclude by saying this. Redistricting is not about campaign contributions. It is not about buildings. It's about people. It's about people. That is your one and only firm commitment to create districts representing people. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, not just for attending today's committee meeting, but for all of your years of service. In fact, Mr. Dimely, how many redistricting processes have you been engaged with?
Mr. Chairman, since 1971, every one, except this one.
Thank you.
Because the Commission had taken the responsibility away from the legislature.
Oh, you're talking about the commission that drew the congressional and legislative districts. Yeah. Okay, again, thank you. You will forever be my chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cecilia Nunez, Tim Yee, Anthony Clastro, please come forward.
Good afternoon. My name is Cecilia Nunez. I am a longtime resident of the 9th District. The Redistricting Commission's proposal makes no sense. It severs downtown Los Angeles from South Los Angeles. Downtown has been a part of the 9th District for over 40 years. The people of South Los Angeles have been left isolated and removed from the very economic engine that has helped to attract investment for the revitalization of South Los Angeles communities. This proposed map will make the 9th District the poorest district in the city.
Ooh.
I ask you not to pass this map, as it will create economic downfall for the 9th District. I ask that you please work with our council representative, Ms. Jan Perry, to formulate the correct boundary lines that will help the 9th District and not bring its downfall. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Tim Yee.
Thank you. I'm Reverend Tim Yee, pastor of Union Church of Los Angeles, a 94-year-old church in Little Tokyo. These are some friends from Little Tokyo. The people of Little Tokyo have had a good relationship with people serving the 9th District and don't think it's in our best interest to move into the 14th District. Just recently, a plaza honoring one of my predecessors, Reverend Howard Toriumi, was dedicated in Little Tokyo. Reverend Toriumi rose up to speak for the people at a time when the wishes of Little Tokyo were not being heard. It is because of his legacy that Little Tokyo has remained an important cultural, spiritual, relational, and economic center that has grown with the ever-changing downtown. The most recent developments moving Little Tokyo out of the 9th and away from decades of relationship building, including our friends from South LA, is very distressing and reflects a lack of listening to the people in these neighborhoods. The Little Tokyo community has experienced the painful realities of city leaders not listening to the people. And our residents tend to only speak up when there is a glaring wrong being done. And friends, we'd like to say that we believe this is such a time when the voices are not being heard.
Thank you, Reverend. Reverend, thank you so much for coming. Anthony, good to see you.
Hello, Mr. President. Hello, council members. My name is Anthony Claustro. I'm the fire director with the Fuego Tech Fire Ranger program, and I'm in Council District 14 in Jose Huizards. As an Angelino born and raised in Boyle Heights, I've seen how our former council members and our current council member, Jose Huizard, has made lots of changes in our community. And I'm a strong supporter in our councilmen and council district being part of downtown Los Angeles. Our program definitely puts countless hours in helping the homeless shelters in the city of Los Angeles. And I definitely would love to see Council District 14 be a part of downtown Los Angeles, because I believe in our councilman, and I know that he's definitely going to make a great improvement in not just in the downtown area, but in the Skid Row area as well. And definitely support this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, at this point, we'd like to call forward Paco Rodriguez, Deanna Kitamura, James Beza. So if I could have Paco. Okay, you just go first.
Good afternoon. My name is Deanna Kitamura. I am the statewide redistricting manager at the Asian Pacific American Legal Center. My organization, APOC, is a nonpartisan civil rights organization in Los Angeles dedicated to addressing the needs of the Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. Our main goal is to keep the individual Asian American towns whole. Specifically, we're talking about Thai Town, Little Tokyo, Chinatown, Historic Filipino Town, Little Bangladesh, and Koreatown. At the commission level, we provided testimony and socioeconomic data for each Asian American enclave. We also submitted a citywide mapping proposal in January. Today, I am submitting a critique of the commission's mapping recommendation, and on the backside, it has a map that shows you where all the Asian American enclaves are.
Thank you.
We appreciate that the commission kept many of the Asian American enclaves whole as the community defines those neighborhoods and communities of interest. If council makes changes, we ask that the Asian American communities that are whole remain whole. We also ask that you keep the Wilshire Center Koreatown Neighborhood Council whole as the community requested. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, James Beza from the 15th District. I support keeping downtown in the 9th District because of the various reasons that people are addressing here. And although I'm certain that some of the stories are true about backroom deals and commissioner favoritism, they have a degree of credibility. And I suspect the proposed map is going to be the way it's going to be. Therefore, I'd like to look ahead and highlight what could be some of the positive things. I'm pleased to see the number of neighborhood council splits being reduced. I believe it'll make it easier for representatives to have a conduit to City Hall. And of those that still have splits, they have advantages to consider as well, such as CD9 and CD8. I would encourage the Empowerment Congress Southeast area, for instance, to take advantage of being touched by CD15. Although less than 1% of their population resides in that district, they should not hesitate to contact Councilman Buscaino to have their voices heard. I believe healthy neighbor relations makes for healthy homes. Just as in my own district, I hope Wilmington and St. Peter will both be enriched as neighbors. In closing, although I may not be completely happy with the way things transpired, I'd like to see the citizens of this great City of Angels move forward, utilizing any positives, not becoming bogged down by the negatives.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. If we could now, I'm going to ask for Paco Rodriguez again. Okay, I don't see a response from him. So we'll go to, I believe it's Patricia Berman, Cindy Hetch, and Rachel Kesting. Please come forward. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Morning. Yeah, you're right. It is afternoon. Good afternoon, Chairman, and to all of the people on the board. My name is Patricia Berman. I am the president of the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council, and I want to make it really clear today that I do not represent the board in what I'm saying today. I'm speaking as a private citizen, although one who does have a lot of information about the people downtown and speaks to a lot of the people downtown. And what I hear from their people is they want downtown to be under one umbrella. It breaks my heart to see this become a battle of personalities. It really shouldn't be there. What this is about is that the people of downtown want to be under an umbrella together because we are one community now. And we would ask you to consider that. Please consider what the people of downtown are saying about downtown. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. And before, I'm going to ask you for a moment. We have Council Member Jan Perry here, and I'd like to call her up to speak because she has another pressing engagement. So at this time, Councilwoman Jan Perry.
Thank you for your indulgence, Mr. President, and I will stay here for a while. I have some time, but I do appreciate this opportunity. And to Ms. Berman, who is a friend and a personal friend, I want to say this is not a battle of personalities. This is a battle over compliance with the Voting Rights Act. This is one of the many appearances that I have made in the course of the redistricting process, and I have been attending this for months since December, when the first community meeting of the Redistricting Commission was held in Council District 9. In the months that followed, nothing on this side of the equation changed. The people of South Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, Little Tokyo, and Skid Row made their concerns and position known. It did not matter to the Commission that they made arbitrary choices without justification. They actually ignored most of the public testimony in spite of the community's best effort to come here and to be heard. And I want to thank all of you again today for coming here and putting your views on the record. The end result is a redistricting map with significant legal flaws. The Rules Committee has an opportunity to develop a solution to what has been identified as a deeply flawed process and a legally perilous district map. You have heard from private citizens, you have heard from legal experts, and you have heard from the media about various problems that the Commission maps presents. The people who are dissatisfied span the entire city, and they concern a variety of racial, community, and organizational groups. Their message is clear. This map does not serve the interests of the people of Los Angeles, and your vote to approve it could end in an extended legal battle. As far as Council District 9 is concerned, the Commission utterly failed to follow the input from the people of downtown. And I would beg to differ with my friend. We counted the cards. The people who wanted downtown under one umbrella in the 14th were people from the 14th District. That is not testimony that was ever provided by people from the 9th. So, following the input from the people of the 9th, there is no legal compelling reason for shifting all of downtown's residents into the 14th district. The deviation issues for Council District 1, Mr. Reyes, and Council District 14, Mr. Huizar, can be resolved by reconfiguring the northeastern communities where Council District 14, Mr. Huizar, is deeply rooted. That approach helps avoid destroying the communities of interest in the Northeast that also asked to remain in the 14th, which the Commission report also fails to do. The only defense the Commission report offers is that some downtown residents asked to be in Council District 14. What that report conveniently fails to note is that those statements in the hearings came from people who already live in Council District 14, which amounts to barely a quarter of all downtown residents. The people who now live in Council District 9, again, that is 3/4 of all downtown residents, were resolute that they wanted to remain in the 9th District. So I challenge you to review the live statements and the submissions. Just look at Little Tokyo alone. Their interests could not have been more clearly and unanimously articulated. The Commission map completely ignores that input, and your vote to approve that map would do the same. We have laid out a plan to resolve this problem. We have submitted a map that closely follows testimony and maintains an equitable division of downtown. Council District 14 retains the eastern portion of downtown, including the Arts District, while Council District 9 retains the Financial District and Little Tokyo. As the Downtown News even expressed, this makes sense. It reflects the distinct role downtown plays in the 9th District, providing an economic balance for South Los Angeles, just as the northeastern areas, Glassell Park, Mount Washington, Eagle Rock, play for Council District 14. But it also accomplishes the principle that Councilmember Huizar has himself expressed and endorsed, that downtown should belong to everyone. Under my proposal, it does and it will. Further, that approach makes sense given the patterns of zoning in downtown. As we mentioned earlier, commerce and connections go north and south, not east and west. Take the Fashion District. Take the Fashion District, for instance. The Fashion District around 11th and San Pedro, the people who do textiles, dyeing, sewing, light assemblage, that industry is moving south into South Los Angeles. Look at the zoned areas for warehouse space in the downtown area that links the Fashion District to South LA. Splitting these interests in a map does little to enhance the Fashion District and that community. It threatens to destroy them. So, this choice is yours on how to define Los Angeles. Clearly, there are short-term winners and losers with the lines that you approve. If you decide to approve the Commission's map, I want you to understand that the long-term loser is the city of Los Angeles. Your vote would ignore the concerns and the frustration of many Angelenos who have said that they were not heard. Your vote to approve the Commission map would say to the people of South Los Angeles, you don't deserve downtown, that you do not matter in this process, and that we do not care whether you continue to prosper as a community. Now, we stand 20 years after the most blatant failure of this city to respond to the long-term economic concerns of South Los Angeles. And I am asking you, with all due respect, let's not repeat the same mistakes by unnecessarily carving up this city in a manner that will hurt people who need our help the most. I have done all that I could, and I will continue to do more when we reach council, and you have all received our letters from Mr. Lowenstein regarding the legal issues. But today, I want to remind you that we have produced reports with analysis and maps. This is not a knee-jerk response on my part. This is a substantive, well thought out, compliant approach to redistricting. So none of you will be able to say that you did not know what the Redistricting Commission proposes and that you did not know that it was inconsistent with the law. And I will submit some letters and some petitions from people today who've taken the time not only to come here during the redistricting process, but they are stakeholders, they are property owners, they are people who live here, the people who work here, business owners. But the most incredible and beautiful part about all of this, if you look at these people behind me, they are from the north and the south, and they are united under the great ninth. And Mr. President, as part of the official record, I have a notebook which I will hand to the clerk to make sure that these letters, these petitions, everything that has been submitted to us to date, and I encourage everyone who is here today to keep submitting as we go forward to council. And just to let you know, folks, I've been through this before 10 years ago, and we mobilized, and we had to fill up the forecourt, the chambers, and the Public Works Commission room. And many of the people who were there then aren't with us now, but they are here in spirit, and I want us to remain united. That is what is best for the city. And I thank all of you for coming out today, and God bless you.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. Cindy and Rachel Kesting. And before you start, let me tell you that Mr. Rosendahl again came to me early this morning and informed me of your concern. So know, not that he needs it, but know that there's not a day that goes by that he's not right there. So I did want to say that. Now it's your time.
Very good. Well, I'm going to go in the other ear for a little while. How's that? I'm going to make sure you hear it. My name is Cindy Hench, and I'm the Neighborhood Council President for the Neighborhood Council of Westchester Playa. When I was here last week to address this committee, I told you that I have watched and participated in this process from early on. And what you should know about these maps is that they don't reflect the overwhelming testimony that I heard from the city of Los Angeles. Specifically, from my community, Westchester Playa, the message that came from over 700 people at that public hearing was and continues to be to keep Westchester intact and in CD11. What you need to know about Westchester, President Wesson,
yes,
is that there is no black Westchester. As your commission has stated, who knew? There is, however, Westchester. It's a wonderful bedroom community in CD11. Please don't segregate our community in a way that is based on racial lines and illegal. Please support the changes that Councilman Rosendahl will present to you tomorrow, and please listen to the voices from the City of LA, because doing what seems to be in best interests right now, isn't in the best interest for the city for the next decade.
Thank you. Rachel Kesting, please come forward. Rachel.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and committee. I'm Rachel Kesting, resident of CD11 and a member of the Committee to Save Westchester Playa. Thank you for hearing our requests to improve this process. I would request that all maps submitted by our Council District 11 be included as public record. We found out that our map was not. And also, another point, I do believe the Voting Rights Act and the City Charter should not be misinterpreted to support political interests or create voting cartels. I believe we should listen to Mervyn Dimely. It's about people. And finally, I support the recommendation of dear Councilman Rosendahl, who is indefatigable in his pursuit of keeping our Westchester, all of Westchester, intact. Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, at this point, I want to say it's James Pack or James Park. on PICO, and Joseph Sun Su and Lois Bernard.
Hello, my name is James Pack, and I'm here to speak on behalf of some of the community members from District 10. And we are here, along with thousands in support, to say thank you to the President Wesson and the City Council for listening to the community regarding the 10th District redistricting plan. And we thank you and we support you. We also just like to say thank you again for listening to the community. We have been a community member for over 30 years in District 10. We live there, we reside there, we work there. So listening from us as a community to give you our support and just say thank you, that's why we're here. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Joseph?
Yes.
Right?
Hello, my name is Joseph Sa, a resident in Koreatown, District 10. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Wesson, for the great improvements and the changes that you have brought to Koreatown. I believe that keeping Koreatown in the 10th District will be beneficial, and I'd also like to state that we do support the changes that you have brought. Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, Lois Bernard, and I'm assuming you know the gentleman behind you?
Yes, I do.
So he's next?
Well, he's just here for comfort.
Oh, okay. So that's Mr. Joseph Bernard for the
That
record.
is correct.
Welcome to the both of you.
Good afternoon, President, and to the Council. I'm here to represent the Crime Coalition Block Club in Jefferson Park, and my name is Lois Bernard. I also have a letter from the Scion Senior Citizens Club that could not be here, which has signed a petition, and they would like to say this letter is to support the redistricting map for the City Council District 10, and they approve of that vote. And I want to present this letter.
Thank you, Sergeant. If you could go get the letter.
And we also, as members of the Jefferson Park, approve the map also.
Thank you. Thank both of you for taking your time. Okay. And if you guys see me looking down or what have you, that's like every 4 seconds I'm getting new cards shoved in my hand, so it's not like I'm not paying attention. I'm attempting to multitask. So I've got Helen, Kim, James, Chung, and Chang Lee. She's first. Ms. Kim.
Good afternoon. My name is Helen Kim, and I served on the Redistricting Commission. I strongly urge the City Council to consider the minority reports filed by me and Commissioners Ahn, Anderson, and Roberts, and all of the reasons that we set forth for voting no to the final map recommendation by the Commission. I note that even the City Attorney's appointee, Commissioner Julie Downey, voted no to the final map. Our minority report points out many flaws in the map. There are violations of the Equal Protection Clause. I was in that secret line drawing meeting when I saw the appointee from CD10 draw the boundaries of CD10 solely based on race. I was there when he announced his goal to raise the black registered voters in that council district from 43 to over 50% now. He accomplished that goal at a time when the African American population in the city has decreased. I think these raise very, very serious issues. I hope that the City Council will take the time now to consider these and hopefully make amendments that would avoid the need for any messy or protracted litigation. Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, James Chung.
Thank you, City Council. As a person who lives and works in Koreatown, I can tell you that over the past several years, I've seen great improvements in Koreatown. So I was extremely happy to hear that Koreatown was going to remain in CD10. I hope it still remains in CD10, and I thank you, President Wesson. Thank you.
Thank you. We work hard. Mr. Lee, Chang Lee.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Council members. My name is Cheng Ni, represent Korean American Chamber of Commerce of Los Angeles. It's been a long process. This redistricting process was a learning process for our community. And the current system has some flaws. And I hope this committee considers the system reform in the future so it could be more transparent, inclusive, and independent. As the map is proposed right now, most of the Korean American community is captured in one council district. Many of the community members been out here saying that we didn't like that, but there are many of us also coming out here saying that we like the map. It is what it is. It is time for us to put this behind us and move on. We need to forge a new relationship with the council district and with the city. We need to work together for better cooperation and understanding to build a vibrant community. Collaboration and partnership should be the new keywords from this day on. It is now time to move on. Thank you.
No, thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Okay, Frederica Cooper, Joy King. Okay, I'm going to need some help with this one. Is it Jessica and someone?
Jessica. Her dad?
Jessica from, can I say, the 9th District. First number in the address is a 7. Does that help? Come on up. I found her in the back. Come on. So first we have Miss Frederica Cooper. Please come forward.
I'm Frederica Cooper. I'm from Hollywood Heights. That's in Council District 4. We have yet to see a map that clearly portrays where these lines cut through our neighborhoods, our formerly cohesive neighborhoods. Every time I see the maps we've been provided with, I think of Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings after she went blind, in which they placed a paintbrush for her on the canvas and then she drew a line. It demonstrates to me clearly that little thought was given to the people within these neighborhoods and to the neighborhoods themselves when the redistricting proposals were made. Our neighborhoods, Whitley Heights, my neighborhood, Hollywood Heights, as well as Outpost Estates, are historic neighborhoods which have been neighborhoods together since before the turn of the century. And the idea that we should be split into 2 council districts is absurd, and we request that we be put back together.
Thank you. Mr.
Just a
Labange,
point of information, before the turn of the century is just 12 years ago. It makes me feel very old.
No, wrong century.
All
Sorry
right, I don't want to get it.
In fact, on behalf of all of us, thank you. Okay, Ms. King.
Hi, my name is Joy King. I'm a resident of Los Angeles. I've been a resident all my life here. I also would like to thank you so much, Herb Wesson, for stepping up at the table to make this change. We definitely appreciate it. We work with the people downtown Los Angeles with the homeless, and you have been so helpful with us downtown in other areas of anything that we might need. And we really appreciate it, and we appreciate the change. I also have a letter from the #1 Murfield Road Block Club and also PCH Block Club supporting you. The letter from the Murfield Road Block Club reads, "Dear Redistricting Commission members, this letter is offered on the behalf of the #1 Murfield Road Block Club, members of the 10th District. Several members of the Block Club have reviewed the Commission's final map recommendation. It is very clear that a lot of thought and work have gone into its preparation. It allows for equal representation for many communities across the city of Los Angeles for the next decade. We wholeheartedly recommend that the council approve its present.
Okay, Ms. King, thank you. But remember, this has nothing to do with any member of the council yet. We have yet to take a vote. I appreciate the kind words where it relates to me, but it ain't about me.
Okay.
But thank you. But I'll take a good word any way I can get it. So thank you.
We appreciate it.
And I appreciate you back. Jessica, I think it is. Come on, Jessica. With your young son?
Yes, two young sons.
Oh, okay. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. My name is Jessica Gonzalez, and I just here speaking. We just purchased our first home in the 9th District off 46th and Central. I just wanted to let you guys know that we are very happy what we've seen on Central. I would like you to please keep the 9th District intact. I think it's beautiful. My son, we're excited to see all the different things that are changing. I enjoy taking walks with my kids. I love it. I'm afraid if you don't keep it intact, that won't be the case maybe. And I just ask you to think about not just my children in your decision, but the children of South LA. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ben, June, I remember you from last night. Grace, Hugh, and May Lee, Midnight Mission. Please come forward.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Ben Jun. I'd like to say that really there were, in the last round, when this was with the commission, there were thousands of people who came out asking, requesting, begging for the Wilshire Center Koreatown Neighborhood Council to be kept whole in CD 13. It seems that public testimony was ignored or somehow just cast aside, and it wasn't given the same credit that other public testimony was given. And I believe that I really hope that this committee can really look at that, look at the record and actually take that testimony into account and really do your service to the city and listen to what the public has asked of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hi, and you are?
Hello, I'm Mai Lee, and I'm with the Midnight Mission.
Okay.
I wanted to come here today to allow my comments to be a part of the public record against splitting up CD9. I think that it's critical to consider the voices of the people. The Midnight Mission has been serving Los Angeles for almost 100 years. We're located in the heart of Skid Row. We serve the forgotten people of Los Angeles, the people that you would drive by and probably not acknowledge. I'm here today to represent those people, to ask the City Council to consider the voice of the people and the people that we serve. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. Grace Hugh.
Thank you, Council President Wesson and council members. Grace Hugh with the Korean American Coalition, coming before you to put on the record once again that the stakeholders of Wilshire Center Koreatown Neighborhood Council requested to be kept whole in CD 13. There were more than 3,000 Angelinos asking for this. You know, people can come out and say, I've got 10,000 people, I can do this, I can do that, but those are actual signatures and you can verify by calling them back. We want to be kept whole with historic Filipino town and Thai town because we have common interests. Limited English is an issue within Wilshire Center Koreatown Neighborhood Council, be it Spanish, Korean, Mongolian, Bangladesh, Tagalog. There are many languages that need assistance. We need you to hear us. We want to be kept whole in CD 13.
Thank you. Thank you. Raul Clados, Francisco Rivera, Barbara Coleman. If you guys would please come forward now. Raul, you're first.
Thank you, sir. Raul Claudos, founding president of the Latino Coalition of Los Angeles, here to once again testify on behalf of the Latino community, specifically the Central American community, which is the second largest community in the state of California and third largest in the entire country of the United States. We are yet to be represented at any tier of government, yet we're big in those numbers. If we look at Council District 10, we are able to continue to be in a diverse community with our Korean brothers and sisters, our African American brothers and sisters, our Mexican brothers and sisters, and our Central American brothers and sisters. The map right now for Council District 10 allows us to be able to connect Koreatown, Pico Union, and South LA and truly represent the city of Los Angeles. And I want to say for the record also that our community has now overlapped and overgrown, and we represent the Latino from South LA that resides in CD9, and we also support that map the way it currently stands. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Don Francisco Rivera.
Mr. Chair, dear members of the Rules, Elections, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee, you have a task ahead, which is to recommend to the entire LA City Council, the final report and the recommendations of the Los Angeles Redistricting Commission. We in the Central American community, you know that we have a large presence in Council District 1. We do support, the final draft that is in the final report, in the recommendation, and also we do support, the draft map for Council District 1 and Council District 13. I think having in consideration the historical roots of the city of Los Angeles, it just makes sense, to have this portion, in Council District 14. So we're going to come back, for the final meeting with the LA City Council, but your job is to present the final report and recommendations of the LA City Redistricting Commission to the entire City Council.
Thank you, Don Francisco. Ms. Coleman.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and Council. My name is Barbara Coleman, and I live in Baldwin Hills. I'm here today to tell you that I accept the map as it is, and I look forward in living in the Council District 10. I want to thank you for everything. I want to thank the Council. And Mr. President, again, I want you to know I'm looking forward to living in your district.
Thank you.
Okay.
However this goes, my commitment is to work very hard for wherever my district winds up being, but thank you for coming. Vera Del Perez, 14th District. Oscar Dominguez. Clint Simmons. I'll get to them, Mr. President. Okay, please.
President, council members, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I'm a resident over 60 years of Council District 14. I grew up in this area with every nationality you can think of. I totally support the redistricting map the way it is, and I think that it just encourages us to accept everyone else the way we always have. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Look for her there. Let's stay right here. Yes.
My name is Oscar Dominguez. I live in City 10 as a resident and also as a business. I'm also the president of the Salvador Community Corridor. Therefore, I really want the committee to support the map that the commission is putting together for City 10. The Hispanic community in City 10, it's a majority. So we really want to stay in City 10. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Simmons.
Good evening, Council Committee District. My name is Clint Simmons. I live in the Baldwin Vista area. I'm a member of the Baldwin Neighborhood Homeowner Association, as well as the West Adams Neighborhood Council. I am here today to say that we approve the way the draft maps are drawn by the Redistrict Committee. too many times that the public lose confidence in our politicians because they go and change things. We don't want to see the 10th change from what it is at the present time because finally we put us together and we want it to stay that way. So we want you politicians take your hand off of it in terms of trying to change it and leave it the way it is. So thank you for giving me a chance to be here today, and the many, many homeowners, members of our homeowner association who I'm here representing, wanted me to make sure I convey that information to you. Keep your hands off. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak.
Thank you. It's Ms. Barajas, Glenn Bailey, L. Art Camarillo.
Good evening. My name is Adela Barajas, and I'm from CD9. First, let me start by saying thank you for putting us back where we belong in CD9. Now, I want to ask you, do you want to have more homicides on your hands, or do you want to continue reducing homicide rates? My organization started 5 years ago after my sister-in-law was murdered in CD9. For the last 5 years, I've been working very hard with all the partners in CD9. And I would like to request that you please put the head back on the body of CD9. You cannot expect homicide rates to continue going down the way you're leading us, the way you're taking us. You cannot expect homicide rates to not go up and have more dysfunctional families like my family and the 4 other young men that were put in jail for the rest of their lives. We're talking about a community. It doesn't matter what color, what race we are. We are CD9, and we would like to go back to the original CD9 map. We cannot afford another homicide. So if you don't want bloodshed in your hands, please
Thank you.
put the head back on CD9.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, my name is Art Camarillo, and I'm from the Glassell Park community, also a board member of the Glassell Park Neighborhood Council, and I'm here to just encourage the council to review the current map for the Northeast and Glassell Park. They did reduce it from 3 councils to 1, but even when to 2, but the way they split it didn't make sense. They took 14,000 residents from the northeast part of Glassell Park of the Freeway 2, and then they gave us 11,000 residents from Eagle Rock, which they always been in Eagle Rock, and then they made it up with 3,000 from LA 39. So I'm just hoping that you can put us back into the map, all on the CD1 or actually CD1 now, and just put us all together and bring those 2 groups together. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I think it's Mr. Bailey, correct?
Good afternoon, council members, Mr. President. My name is Glenn Bailey. I'm Area 1 representative on the Encino Neighborhood Council, speaking as an individual. The Encino Neighborhood Council has voted that it be kept whole in 1 council district. That was our first priority. And the boundaries go up to Victory Boulevard. The current map goes up to Victory Boulevard, but only between Lindley and White Oak. Requesting that the Victory Boulevard northerly line be drawn all the way to the 405 freeway, which will make the Sepulveda Basin entirely within the CD5 as proposed. Also, we noticed that in the meets and bounds that the lines are drawn instead of the edge of the residential neighborhoods, they're being drawn down the middle of Bullock Street and Wish Avenue, for example. And that is not the understanding and the mapping, and that we were told that we'd be kept whole. But when you look at the meets and bounds, that's not what's happening. So I ask that that be corrected as well. Thank you.
Thank you. If I could now have Pastor Bell, Gaddis, and Fielding please come forward. Good afternoon, Pastor.
Good afternoon. My name is Winfred Bell. To the Honorable President and certainly to all of you.
When I was raised up in this city, we were always taught to appreciate people's work. Mayor Bradley, Councilman Gilbert Lindsey, Council Lady Jan Perry, all have worked very hard to revitalize and make our community vibrant and strong. Council District 9 should remain whole. Do not take downtown away from the district. The connection is historic and means so much to the people of South Los Angeles. The proposed map will do harm to our communities, both economically by making it one of the poorest districts in the city, if not the poorest, and by harming the interests of all the people that live and work and own property in South Los Angeles. It is hard to imagine the 9th District doing well with fewer resources. There is no way that the district will benefit from losing downtown. Thank you for taking the time to hear our plea, and please understand that these pastors have come on a Wednesday night where Bible study takes place, but we are here because we're concerned.
I understand. Please come forward.
To President, my name is Pastor Ewayne Gaddis. I am the pastor of the Greater True Light Baptist Church and also the president of the California Missionary Baptist State Convention, and I also represent Dr. Joby Harway. One of our main concerns is the community in our neighborhood, in not only the 9th District, but as well as the redistricting of the 8th District. Crime and the job relationship in our communities are falling off, and if we redistrict, we redo this map, it will hurt our communities. We have many of our members that are in this 8th District and 9th District. We're already suffering, and this is not going to do nothing but put us down. As it was stated earlier, that this will put us in a very poor neighborhood. And my request is for us to vote no on this redistricting. Thank you so very much.
Please go right ahead. Oh, and if you would say hello to Pastor Hardwick for me. Yes, go ahead.
My name is Pastor Quincy Fielding Jr., the Charlotte Full Gospel Baptist Church, and my main concern is about this redistricting. The Redistricting Commission has proposed drastic changes to downtown in South Los Angeles. These changes has been the subject of much scorn by the community and various media outlets because of inappropriate and possible illegal actions. This commission has failed to take the time to listen to the community. Bottom line. Has nothing to do with racism, but it has to do with people who live in the 8th and 9th District. Again, we say no to this movement. And my granddaddy used to say, why fix something when it ain't broken?
Okay, Patrice. Now, if we could have Pastor Campbell, Pastor Prince, and Mike Dennis, please come forward. Pastor Campbell, and I got another card. Okay.
Mr. President, members of the council and the committee, greetings. I'm Pastor William Monroe Campbell of the Mount Gilead Missionary Baptist Church, located at 92nd and Normandy. I'm a graduate of Thomas Jefferson High School. At the time I graduated, the Honorable Gilbert Lindsey referred to the 9th District as the Great 9th District. And it had the unusual capacity to make things happen because it connected the power center with the common people. And it would be shameful to violate that legacy.
Thank you. Pastor Prince.
Good evening to the President, to my new friend, Councilman Joe. We are here with a purpose in mind, and that purpose that we have in mind is to keep things together in the 9th District. And we come on one accord. First of all, we're praying that you would make the right choices, and we're praying that we would support you after you continue to do that which you know is working. And I come to you under the leadership of Dr. E.V. Hill for 30 years of training, and now I'm with your friend, the pastor of New Dawn Christian Village, Frank Wilson. And so as we work together, I believe that we can work this out where we can work with what we have and keep the 9th district together. And I thank you in advance for what you're doing and watch by placing the councilman under the leadership of what he's doing there, and we're going to support him the best we can. And thank you.
Give my best to Reverend Wilson.
Gotcha.
Please. Okay, please come forward.
Good afternoon, Chairman, President. My name is Mike Dennis. I'm the Director of Organizing at the East LA Community Corporation. I'm speaking to this body as both a community activist in Boyle Heights and a resident of CD14 in support of the proposed plans to merge CD14 with downtown LA. East LA Community Corporation represents 1,300 extremely low-income residents we work with in Boyle Heights. We have 3 core programmatic areas: the development of quality affordable housing, community organizing, and community wealth building through financial literacy services, home foreclosure prevention, and various arrays of programs. Boyle Heights has a long-standing tie to downtown LA. We are physically connected to downtown LA through a series of bridges that have linked these communities together for decades, as well as the vast cultural interconnectivity. Downtown is an economic employment center for East Side residents as well. For decades, East Side residents would take the 30, 31, and the 68 bus lines to downtown to do their grocery shopping and to find other goods and services that were difficult to come by in Boyle Heights. Formally linking these 2 communities together under one district gives East Side residents a better opportunity for economic access, and further linking the 2 regions together gives our representative greater tools for preservation and addition of quality affordable housing and community assets in Boyle Heights.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And as people were giving me a stack of cards from this way and that way, I may have mixed some up. But again, like I said, we've already gone through a stack at least this big, and I'm trying to do my best to keep it in order. At this time, Blair Beston, David Galaviz, and Corey Dantzler from the Challengers Boys and Girls Club. Welcome.
Hi there, Chairman, board members. I'm Blair Beston. I'm the Executive Director of the Historic Downtown Business Improvement District, and I represent the board today. They voted early on to keep the historic area of downtown under CD14. The current map reflects that. They also felt strongly about programs such as bringing back Broadway and the streetcar, that it would be extremely beneficial to the continued development and growth of all of downtown Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is David Galaviz. I'm the Director of Local Government Relations for USC. I'm here today on behalf of Tom Sales, our Senior Vice President for University Relations, who unfortunately is out of town. I'd like to briefly reiterate the university's position, which was first delivered by Mr. Sales during the February 22nd Commission hearing. The university has one concern. We want to be treated like all other universities in the city of Los Angeles, and we want to be in one district. We're proud of our economic, social, and most importantly, our academic and research contributions to the city. And again, our goal is to remain in one district. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming. Mr. Dantzler, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
My pleasure as well, representing Challengers Boys and Girls Club in South LA. Quite frankly, I'm just here basically to say let's keep District 9 as is. My dad was the founder of Challengers Boys and Girls Club back in 1968. He started with 12 kids in the back of his truck and landed at 50th in Vermont and was there until his untimely death in 2006. And quite frankly, I've seen a lot of change in the district representing our kids. We serve close to 2,000 kids a year, and the linkage that we've had with downtown now, the way that it is, the kids now have access to going to great venues like LA Live and some of the activities that they get to participate in. It's really a pleasure for us to be able to do that, and we just encourage you on behalf of just course, our families and the kids that we serve to really keep it as is and keep supporting what's there. If this goes away, you know, it's hard enough to keep funding going for nonprofits, and be able to have this linkage with downtown and other areas is really beneficial to us, and we want to keep things going for at least another 40 years. So
Well,
thank you for your
God
time.
bless you and keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
James Okasaki, Robert Quinn, Jamie Potter. Please come forward. James.
Good afternoon, Councilman Wesson, Councilman Labange, Councilman Englander. Nice to see you. And I have not met Joe Cascino, but congratulations on your win on the 15th district. I have 2 points to make. I came to America back in 1957, and I was living in the 9th district then, but I moved around 8th and 9th before I moved out of the city. But I've always participated in activities in Little Tokyo, which has been in CD9 for a long, long time. And one of the things that I recognize is that I am a member of the Little Tokyo Community Council representing the Nisei Week Foundation. As you know, that's been around for 73 years. And there's been a very close association of Little Tokyo to South Los Angeles. I don't know if you knew, during the war back in 1943, a lot of the blacks moved into Little Tokyo, and they kind of kept Little Tokyo together for us, the Japanese community, and they came back to Little Tokyo. So there's been a close relationship. So I'm hoping that CD9 could encompass both the South Los Angeles and Little Tokyo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, James. So we'll have Robert Quinn, then Jamie Potter, followed by Elliot Johnson. Please come forward, Elliot. Mr.
Gentlemen,
Quinn.
my name is Robert Quinn. I've been a resident of Westchester since 1965, and now I'm being told that it's called the Westchester Triangle. In all that time, it's just been Westchester, and I want it to continue to be Westchester, and our neighbors want it to be Westchester, not CD8. You know, we're a lump sitting out on the end of a long tail. That's wrong. I believe that you gentlemen all know that, and I expect you to put it back. Please do so.
Thank you for coming. And I just learned it was called the Triangle as well, Mr. Quinn. Mr. Potter.
Council President, I'd just like to say I'm a resident in the 4th Council District, and I support the map as proposed.
Thank you very much. Elliot? Followed by Monica Alexinto, who I met last night, and Pierre Mohammed.
Mr. Council President, nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elliot Johnson. Mr. Council President, I have a document I would like to submit. If the
Sergeant,
clerk...
please get his document.
Thank you very much. I'll read from it. I'll be short. I am, and I have been, a resident homeowner for the past 30 years in Hollywood Heights, which is a very cohesive community in Councilman Labange's CD4 district. During this time, we in HHA, along with our neighbors in Whitley Heights and the Outpost, have developed one of the most homogeneous neighborhoods in the city of Los Angeles. We share many of the same interests and concerns, and Councilman Labange is familiar with most of us by name. As such, this familiarity has ensured that our quality of life has remained a treasured jewel in this city. The most recent revised redistricting map bifurcates our community, placing parts of our community in CD13. This bifurcation splits our cohesiveness as a community by placing some of our neighbors, including myself, in a community with needs, wants, desires, and interests much different than those which we have traditionally and historically been bounded by. In effect, this bifurcation will destroy all that we have diligently built over these 30-some-odd years.
Thank you.
I am asking that your committee be mindful of our cohesiveness and restore the southern boundaries of our neighborhoods back to Franklin Avenue.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you. Monica, Pierre. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Nice to see you again, too. I was gratified that yesterday many of the members of this committee expressed a willingness to represent citizens, not necessarily in your distinct districts. With that in mind, I would ask you to please write this down. The Mid-Valley residents, the community of interest that are from Sherman Way to Oxnard, the 405 to Vesper, be placed in CD4. The Van Nuys Elementary School, middle school rather, is and has been in Sherman Oaks for quite some time. I would also underscore to you that the problem that many voters experience with the redistricting commission should make it unethical, in fact, unlawful for any commissioner to run for office during the 10 years that voters will suffer if this map is ratified. And lastly, I would just say that the Redistricting Commission Minority Report, I would note, did not identify that the new CD6 would go from a 49% Latino population to 71%. I believe that's the largest leap, and to many voters, the most egregious violation of ethics. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, after Mr. Mohammed, if we could get Quincy D. Fielding to come forward, and I want to apologize in advance for this one, Maria Trevia, and Mike McClure. Please, good to see you again.
Thank you. Same here. Pierre Mohammed from Van Nuys. I've resided in Van Nuys 17 years. Mr. President, council members, I oppose the current map. I had the pleasure to work with John Ferraro's staff in 1985 to 1990. Wow, what a staff to work with. I recently had the pleasure to work with Tom LeBon's staff, and wow, again, what a staff to work with. We are submitting today to you the simple, workable map that satisfies both District 6 and 4 while reducing District 3 and 12 as they are too high in numbers. Please give us back our respect by moving us into District 4 while leaving Van Nuys Boulevard and City Hall in District 6. Boundaries, as Ms. Monica has mentioned, was Sherman Way to the north, Vesper to the east, Oxnard to the south, and 405 to the west. We have had no representation and support in District 6. Council,
please finish.
Thank you. Councilman Park and Councilwoman Jan Perry both stated that this was the backroom deals and discrimination. Commissioner Kim and Roberts both stated on record the backroom deals should not have occurred and the residents should have been taken into consideration. Our petition and maps were not shared with them and other commissioners. They said Commissioner Cornejo stacked the deck so he can run for councilman and so that he'd have a chance to win. So please consider us into putting us into District 4. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And before I call on the next speakers, we have been joined by the other committee member, Mr. Jose Huizar, and we have another councilman that's with us, and I'm going to ask some of you may have heard of him. I'm going to ask Mr. Rosendahl to say a few words. Bill.
It's nice to be applauded. Thank you, Mr. President and Chair of the committee. I just want to say hello to my Westchester folks. Could you all stand up from Westchester? Okay. I'm fighting for the triangle. It matters to Westchester. It matters to me. And I'm hopeful that as this process goes forward, we'll be able to bring ourselves together as Westchester back into the fold. We're working on it. We're working on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rosendahl, for joining us. Mr. Labange.
Mr. Rosendahl, thank you very much. And so you saw those good folks from Westchester and all the people here. As you finish this hearing, if you would like, the tower, the Tom Bradley Tower, is open on top. And there's a tremendous view of this afternoon and the sunset, I'm sure. You may enjoy that. Just take the elevators to the top and enjoy the scenic view as you complete your day here at City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Labange. Welcome.
Thank you. Mi nombre es María Echeverría. Voy a hablar en español.
One moment, please.
Thank you. Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es María Echeverría.
Good afternoon. My name is María Echeverría.
Representando a la comunidad Santo Tomás, presidenta de la iglesia.
I'm representing the community of Santo Tomás or St. Thomas, representing the church.
Estamos a favor del Distrito 1 del mapa que ya está, creo que ya está hecho o por terminar.
We're in support of District 1 of the map that has been presented.
Y también a favor del Distrito 10, que trabajamos juntos. Estamos agradecidos y contentos por el mapa de nuestra comunidad.
We're also in support. I'm also in support of District 10. We're very happy and we're united, and we're also here to support that community as a community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, council members. My name is Mike McClure. For 37 years, my office has been in Boyle Heights. And I was thinking when we saw Governor Donnelly here earlier, it's important to remember the history of redistricting, especially his contribution to it. Over the last 37 years, I've been redistricted at least a dozen times. I'm old enough to remember when Gil Lindsay was my councilman, and we worked together to build the Hollenbeck Youth Center. Then we were redistricted, and I worked with Councilman Snyder to finish building the Hollenbeck Youth Center. Over the years, I've had several different congressional districts, several different council districts, so it's important to remember that. I've been to several of these redistricting commission hearings. They all started out with a reading of the law that calls for redistricting. It's not a popularity contest between the council members, it's the law. We all deserve equal representation. I'm 100 yards east of the First Street Bridge. The Boyle Heights and downtown have been connected through the Gold Line, through bringing back Broadway, several projects. I would urge you to endorse the map as written. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. McClure. Well, again, Quincy Fielding, Jr.? Okay, I'll put your name aside. Brahanu Asfa, Getty Asfa, and Dr. Weissman, if you guys could please come forward. Please come forward. I thought I saw Dr. Weissman. Oh, there he is. In fact, since you got there first, Doc, you go right ahead. Yes.
Thank you. Herb, I can't tell you how much fun it is to have a conversation with you 1 minute at a time.
We'll have to rectify
We'll
that.
have some others, I'm sure. Last night I had the pleasure of being able to read the Los Angeles Neighborhood Council Coalition motion, and I'd like to read it into the record again today quickly. Whereas the current redistricting map was created in a manner that does not conform to law and does not serve the interest of the public, the Los Angeles Neighborhood Council Coalition opposes the current map. Now, the coalition, of course, is a group of volunteers from many councils all across the city. I have copies of this if anyone in the audience would like one. The other document I have in my hand, and I've just created both of these documents as public documents that are going to be linked to the council file, which is the redistricting map proposal, which we will be considering in council eventually. This is all of my maps, and it compares the redistricting maps with my map page by page by page, including the data which it makes it possible for my maps to be changed and modified. I don't pretend to say that these maps are good. I'm working with many people, even now, to modify them so that more people will be satisfied. The difference between my maps and the Redistricting Commission maps is minor, not etched in stone.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, Brujano. And when you finish with your public comment, I think there are about 3 more people with you. If you could come back and help me pronounce the names, I would appreciate your assistance. So, Brujano, you're now up.
Okay, good evening, Council President and Council Member. I am here to support redistricting proposed map for City 10 that addresses lots of issues, especially in our community. We urge you to keep the city proposed district map. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If you could bring Brujano back here. Getty.
Good evening. My name is Getahon Asfal. I work City 10 almost since 1996. I know very much about our city 10s, but I'm actually supporting really districting map on City 10. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Maria Scherzer. Les Wills. Dick James. Please come forward.
Maria Scherzer, representing our community of interest, part of Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks, within CD6. Committee members, please look at the map and read our request. We are officially part of the South Valley Plan area and the Van Nuys Sherman Oaks Community Plan. Our most immediate neighbors are Sherman Oaks and Valley Glen. Repeatedly, we requested Commissioner Cornedo to transfer us out of CD6 and into either CD2 or 4. And repeatedly, we were completely ignored as if we do not exist. Do you understand what that means? Commissioner Cornejo corrupted the process. He willfully denied us our due process to secure our best representation. He denied us our rights under the 1st and 14th Amendment. Do you understand what that means? Correct this injustice. Mr. Labange, yesterday, members of CD4 from Sherman Oaks, including the Chamber of Commerce and VICA, said they consider us part of Sherman Oaks. Correct the injustice, fix the map. We belong in CD4.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Dick James. How are you?
Fine, sir.
Yeah. I've worked in Boyle Heights now for over 30 years, from Art Snyder to Jose Huizar, Council Member Jose Huizar. And let me give you a few of my thoughts. You keep hearing about South Central, East LA, West LA, all this stuff. Los Angeles should be its own city. Downtown LA, and downtown LA should be in the 14th district with Councilman Huizar. That's what I think. We've got to stop being divisive. You don't hear about North New York, South San Francisco. We've got to be Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles. And I pray to goodness that takes place while I'm still around. Thanks a lot.
No, thank you, sir. Mr. Wills, please come forward, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Wesson for making your office available during redistricting for people to park free of charge here, and Mr. Labange also for today. But LA has been gerrymandered, redlined, and hoodwinked by politicians, realtors, and special interest groups for over 100 years, far too long. These are race-based maps that are promoting segregation in Los Angeles. And no court in this great nation is ever going to condone segregation in the 21st century.
That's fickle.
Let's end these race-based redistricting maps in this city, be they black, white, yellow, or brown. Redraw LA has given us a tool for the first time to be able to, for the common citizen to be able to expose the fact that we don't need to redline this city any longer. I'm presenting maps which I like to give you. I call them Green Line LA. And these maps I'm going to present to each of you. It's a way to preserve neighborhoods, to stop doing these race-based maps, and make this a healthier city for us all.
Thank you, sir. You can present that to the sergeant. Thickrick and Afwork, please come forward, followed by Reverend Brady Smith Jr. Please come forward. Yes, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Afwork Mangasha. I'm here to support redistricting proposed map for City 10. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Fikra Selassie. I just came here to support the District 10's as it is now, as posted now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Reverend Smith, I'll hold your card for a few minutes. Mr. Weezar. Just 1 second. Well, I think Mr. Weezar should know this.
Diana del Pozo Mora.
Gus Harris, Selena Lopez.
Hello, Diana del Pozo Mora from CD 14. I just wanted to come up and have strong agreements with the mapping, the way it's been redistricted. I have been to many of the hearings process in support of the fact that we are a community, and what we have to offer is for everyone, for our whole city. It's not just for an area. And I really think that the open door opportunity for us to have development and growth together, it's citywide, would be beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Harris?
Mr. President, my name is Gus Harris, and I bring greetings from the Jefferson Park Board of Directors, the Tri-Chairs of Jefferson Park, which are Trinity Baptist Church, Westminster Presbyterian Church, and the Holy Name of Jesus. Especially from Pastor Tunstall. He supports the redistricting of the map, which would bring Jefferson Park into one councilmatic district. Our boundaries are Jefferson on the Exposition on the south, Adams on the north, Western east, and Crenshaw on the west side. And we support the redistricting of the map. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And still no Brady Smith. Marcia Arnold, Merlin Knowles, Romero Manalo. Welcome. Good to see you.
Good afternoon, President Wesson and members of the committee. My name is Marcia Arnold. I'm president of the Cherrywood Lemert Block Club. We encompass Lemert Park from Arlington on the east, Crenshaw on the west, Rodeo to the north, King Boulevard to the south. We are here to say in our February meeting, we agreed to agree with the maps, and we support the one council district. So we voted in support of the maps submitted to the commission on the 15th. Here is a detailed letter expressing our desires. We wish to thank the Commission for their hard, dedicated work. It's not an easy task. We also, in advance, thank you for your consideration and for the job that you will be facing. So if I may submit these letters.
Sergeant, if you would please. Thank you. Thank you. And our next speaker, please come to the podium.
Hello, my name is Merlin Knowles. I'm a resident of Rosa Parks Villas, very proud to be there, in the Adams-Crenshaw 10th District area. As a senior citizen living in Los Angeles for over 65 years, I want to support joining with Leimert Park and Baldwin Hills. I feel we will be able to represent the best of what we treasure as our community. I support the proposed Council 10 map. Thank you.
Thank you. Please come forward.
Good evening, Romero Malvo. For 28 years, I've been a resident of Leimert Park. Prior to that, it was 10 years as a resident of Baldwin Hills. Since 1992, civil unrest, I have worked to improve the quality of life in my community. That community encompasses West Adams, Crenshaw Manor, Leimert Park, Baldwin Hills, Baldwin Vista, Baldwin Village, Village Green, and Cameo Woods. We are a whole community, but most of our life we've been split among multiple council districts. I support this map because for the first time we are all together, and I feel very strongly that we need to be together to face the next 10 years. Because during that time, we're going to have to deal with increased drilling, oil drilling, adjacent to Baldwin Hills. We're going to have to deal with accommodating the Expo line. We're going to have to deal with the construction of the Crenshaw LAX line, as well as all the mitigation and possible opportunities. So I thank you for putting us all in one district and giving us a fighting chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
Good afternoon. My name is Delmi Ruiz, and I live in District 10, and I am supporting the Commission proposal. I think this is going to help the bigger population, Latino population in the area, and also it's going to help the Korean business in the area. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Agustin Moreno, Manuel Hernandez, Abraham Hernandez, if you would please come forward. Agustin Moreno. In fact, I see the three of you coming now. So please, sir, first come, first serve.
Buenas tardes, concejales. Buenas tardes, concejales. Mi nombre es Agustín Moreno y soy residente del Distrito 1. Vivo en el sur de Los Ángeles. Gracias por su trabajo en este proceso. Estoy de acuerdo con los mapas que se han desarrollado. Gracias.
Good afternoon, esteemed council members and members of the committee. My name is Agustin Moreno. I'm a resident of District 1 and I live in South Los Angeles. Thank you for your work in this process, and I am in agreement and in support of the maps as they have been developed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next.
Good evening, committee members, Mr. Chair. My name is Manuel Hernandez. I am a resident of the 8th Council District for the last 12 years. This is the very first time that I'm participating in the redistricting process. 10 years ago, I was only 18, graduating from Manual Arts High School, and wasn't really in tune with the civic duties and participation. Since then, I've traveled the city of Los Angeles and have seen the development of downtown, the development in other communities. But unfortunately, south of the 10 freeway in South Los Angeles, where I live, there has been disinvestment. And I do hear a theme of, joblessness, and we need to make sure that we're focusing on reinvesting in communities like South Los Angeles, that there are economic engines that can develop the workforce, create good jobs for our families, for our communities. So I support the maps the way that they've been drawn. Thank you.
Thank you. Francis Hashimoto, Lisa Kobator, Alba Hassan, Selma Fish or Frisch, please come forward. Now, yes, go on, sir.
Okay, good evening, committee members, Mr. Chair. My name is Abraham Hernandez, and I am a resident of South LA and have lived there my entire life. I've lived in the 8th Council District my entire life. This is the first time I participated in the redistricting process, and I hear a theme of poverty, joblessness, and a lack of economic development. Let's focus on the creation of good jobs for our families, residents like myself. I appreciate the job that the Commission has done, and I support the draft maps. Vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Francis Hashimoto. I'm a resident, business owner, property owner in the 9th District, and I'm here today to urge you all to keep the 9th District intact with Little Tokyo in downtown. My family has been doing business in Little Tokyo since 1910, and outside of 3 years where they were forced into a relocation camp, we have continuously been in Little Tokyo. I have also grown up in East LA, having gone to elementary school, junior high school, and high school in East Los Angeles. And I'm here to say that as a business and as Little Tokyo has struggled and strived to actually better themselves, and with the help of the city, and especially our council member and Jan Perry, we've been able to reach a plateau of success where now we are a thriving community. I ask you, urge you, please, don't take us out now that we're finally getting a degree of success. Keep us together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next.
Good afternoon. My name is Iqbal Hassan. Starting in about 1987, I served on the South Park Task Force. That was prior to Staples, prior to LA Live. I've been a guest speaker of economic diversity at International Federation of Downtowns in the city of Los Angeles. I was president of Skyline Homeowners Association, which is a 200-unit condominium building located at 9th and Flower, for about 12 years. I was elected from the Fashion District to serve in the Project Area Committee, which was an advisory committee to the City of Los Angeles through the CRA for promoting development in areas that needed it. I currently am a member of the American Industrial Real Estate Association and have been honored to serve on its board of directors and was its president in 2006. I give you these affiliations not because I'm here on behalf of any of those organizations, but as myself to basically expound on what Jan Perry said a little earlier about the industrial base. Thank you. About the industrial base that is so crucial to the Fashion District and to downtown Los Angeles, that goes south of Washington down to the 105 freeway and all of that area encompassing it. There's a nexus. There's a business relationship between the Fashion District and all of the industrial base south of it. The reasons for cutting it or splitting it, I don't find any merit to, and I don't know why it's being even discussed. We have, downtown has worked fine with the 14th District in part of it, with the 9th District in the other part. I see no reason to split it all up. If people here think that it needs to be all in one, move the boundaries a little north, move it all east, and welcome 14th to the 9th District, because there's no reason to really split it up. It's working fine the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Selma Fish. On October 15, 1972, my husband and I opened a clothing store on Pico and Santee. We were so fortunate when Jan Perry became our councilwoman. When we and other property owners in the Santee Alley needed help, a phone call to Jan Perry was all we needed to do. She would always meet with us, and if our concerns had merit, Jan would guide us and help us. Many of our achievements in the Fashion District were due in large part to Jan Perry's vision and hard work. All you have to do is compare the Fashion District to what it used to look like and to what it looks like today. Thank you.
No, thank you. Please come forward.
Thank you. That's my mother. She's modest. They were the second jobbers in downtown. I was 8 years old when we started going there, downtown, and there was no Fashion District. My name is Lisa Korbitov. My mother started the BID, the DPOA, and the Santee Maple Alley Association. She is very modest, and we are here to say, as a property manager and a property owner, do not do this to the 9th. I was here 10 years ago. I said the same things then. I'm saying it now. I have something in common with all of you. I am also an elected official. I was the former board president of Beverly Hills Unified School District. I'm currently a governing board member. I took an oath. My vote is always sacred. And you all owe it to the community, whether you represent these constituents or not, to do the people's business in the light of day and to do the will of the people. You serve the will of the people at the will of the people. And this is a dog and pony. This map does not pass the smell test. I respectfully urge you to not pass this map. It will not pass muster. You will have a fight. The downtown property owners will not stand for this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bill Watanabe, Francisco Securitas, and Carolyn Murphy, please come forward. Please
Good
go
evening.
ahead,
Thank
sir.
you. My name is Bill Watanabe. I'm representing the Little Tokyo Community Council, which is composed of businesses, residents, churches, nonprofits, and other stakeholders in Little Tokyo. Now, Little Tokyo and downtown have been a part of the 9th District for a long time, and our position has been consistent that we should continue to remain in the 9th District. There's a reason why the 9th District is called the Great 9th District, and that reason, part of it is the relationships that we've built up in the 9th District. Little Tokyo, for example, have worked with people like Sandra Bryan at All Peoples, Mark Wilson from the CRCD. We've worked with General Jeff, the Skid Row, and all of these things we've been working together to make this district better. It's our request that you would look at the districts, not to tamper with them, because the 9th District has been great. We want to work to make it even greater. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hi there. My name is Carolyn Murphy, and I am currently starting a business in Highland Park on York Boulevard. And it's really important to me that the area stays in CD 14 and stays united. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa Brewer, Trina Galata Miller, Tricia Gossett, you please come forward.
Finally, Highland Park. My name is Lisa Brewer. Hello and thank you to the members of the City Rules Committee. I'm here today to advocate for keeping North Highland Park in CD 14 and ask you to adopt what was submitted as CD 14 Amendment G. I've lived in North Highland Park for 15 years. I've been a member of the North Highland Park Neighborhood Watch since 2004 and captain since 2008. The group has grown from 20 to well over 100 members in this time. I'm a member of the Northeast LAPD CPAB, of the Eagle Rock Association, and I'm a former board member of the Historic Highland Park Neighborhood Council. I understand the intent to keep all of Highland Park in CD1, but give my input based on two items. First, I wish to continue the relationships that I and my colleagues in North Highland Park have worked very hard to build with the CD14 team. And second, quite frankly, I don't want my area to be part of CD1. The city representatives there, in my observation, do not have the same sense of community involvement and pride that CD14 does by a long shot. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Tina Galata Miller, and I live in CD14, Councilman Weezar's district. I'm very happy that Garvanza is going to be staying in CD14, and I would also like to see North Highland Park remain in CD14 and also York Boulevard Commercial District. Those people have worked very hard and have had a long history with the Council District 14 councilmen that have been prior to Councilman Weezar. They've had a great partnership and relationship with the people from CD14, and I've seen a lot of benefits and great growth and progress because of those relationships. So I ask that you keep North Highland Park, Garvanza, and York Boulevard Commercial District in CD14. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming down.
I'm Trish Gossett from CD14 and member of the Historic Highland Park
Neighborhood Council. I wrote you a letter and I'd like to read it. Dear Rules Committee, imagine you have spent years dreaming of one day having a beautiful garden in the ugliest corner of your backyard. You have spent time learning how to grow things. You've spent time talking to experts and finding out the best plants for your space. Now that you have a direction, it's time to plant your garden. You have tilled and prepared the soil, planted the seeds, and watered diligently. You pull the weeds and delight in watching your seedlings sprout. They are getting bigger and more vital. They love the sun and the water. They are thriving, and you are delighted. There is now the promise of beautiful blooms. They give you a peek of what they are becoming, bright, colorful, and happy to be alive. The future of the ugliest corner of your backyard is now spectacular. So dear committee members, it's taken years of dreaming and planning to grow this community here in North Highland Park, Mr. Weezar's district. If you pluck us up and move us to CD1, all of the work we have done with Mr. Weezar, his staff, and the Occidental College folks will come to a grinding halt. Please help us keep our community of the York Valley together. We're starting to thrive, and we want to keep it that way.
Thank you. Carmela Gomes, Chris Smith, Margarita Amador. Carmela Gomez. Gomes. Oh, I was right the first time.
Es portugués. Pero yo soy
Hey, I've been calling so many names.
italiana.
Is that you, Joe?
Mr. Buscaino. My name is Carmela Gomes. I live in Highland Park in the York Valley, which is one of the 5 friendly valleys of northeast Los Angeles. At the present time, where I live is part of CD14. I've lived in the York Valley long enough to recognize the signs of progress and rejuvenation. It's been a long time coming. Many of the business people there don't believe it's ever going to happen. They see this, they say, hey, every 10 years it'll just keep going on and on. Most of the time, I advocate that we think globally and act locally. On this issue of redistricting, though, I urge all involved to think locally. This is a governance issue, and continuity is the key. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Chris Smith.
I'm Chris Smith, President of the Highland Park Neighborhood Council. The Highland Park Neighborhood Council voted to reject the map as it was proposed. The Neighborhood Council would like to stay as part of CD14. The number of projects underway currently in Highland Park on York Boulevard that we would like to maintain. We've had a number of great projects going on. The first bike corral in the city of Los Angeles, the bike lanes which have gone in have made a tremendous difference in the neighborhood. We'd like to keep those projects going, and we feel that if we were moved into CD1, most of those projects would be abandoned, and we would not see the further success of those projects.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Ms. Amador.
Good afternoon. My name is Margarita Amador, and I'm a member of the Boyle Heights Neighborhood Council, Community Police Advisory Board at Hollenbeck, and a local Girl Scout leader and longtime community advocate. I'm not here representing any of the organizations. I'm here as an active member of the community who was born and raised in Boyle Heights. Many of our community members feel like Downtown Arts District is an extension of the Boyle Heights Arts District. On Thursday nights, our families go to downtown to experience the art walk, and on Friday nights, downtown residents come to Boyle Heights to experience our Carmen Arte, which is our version of the art walk. What makes visiting these different attractions is easy, that downtown is only a short metro goal line right away, a short bike ride over the 1st, 4th, or 6th Street Bridge to Boyle Heights. Boyle Heights is a community filled with rich culture and a passion for the arts, and I see how the downtown community has bonded with our community over the passion for the arts, and I hope that the Commission sees how both communities already are linked. Thank you.
No, thank you. Clementina Lopez, I think this is Jeanette Dotson, and Kathy Milligan. Please come forward. Ms. Lopez, Dotson, Milligan. And whoever gets here first, you're first.
I'm first. Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Milligan, and I am from Highland Park, CD14. I wear many hats lately. I'm a resident, a business owner on York Boulevard. I'm Economic Development Chair for the Historic Highland Park Neighborhood Council, and I am the new director of the Northeast Los Angeles Arts Organization. We hold second Saturday in the Northeast. The thought that Highland Park would be split up from Eagle Rock is truly heartbreaking, and I have been in front of the Commission 3 different times to state so. Here I am in front of you guys, and I hope you guys listen, because we've got projects going on, and I don't want to see them go away. It means a lot to the community. It means a lot to the businesses. Every day there are new businesses and new residents that come in, and they absolutely love Highland Park and Eagle Rock, and they should stay together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Patrice.
Miss Milligan.
Miss Milligan.
Miss Milligan, any relationship to Bernie Milligan?
No.
Okay, thank you. Bernie organized youth baseball. Bernie organized youth baseball in the San Fernando for many years. Bernie Mulligan tires. But anyway, long shot, threw it out. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Mr. Labange, for that bit of history. Yes.
Janet Dodson, Historic Highland Park Neighborhood Council. You're going to start hearing more and more from Highland Park, which is beginning to develop its voice and its political voice. North Highland Park needs very much, as you've been hearing, to maintain its presence in Council District 14, where we have had a lot of good luck and a lot of good work taking place. Historic Highland Park, especially the North End, has a relationship, both cultural and political, with Eagle Rock. Councilmember Labange, it was you who told me about a year and a half ago that also Highland Park has an historic relationship to Eagle Rock, which it does. We have worked very hard looking at the numbers that you are all facing, and we understand very much that this can be done. The numbers can be worked. We've also spent a lot of time looking at the criteria that you have for this map, the federal, the state, and the city laws that are important to this process. Down at the bottom is community interest, and as we scrutinized that list and spent a lot of time going through it, nowhere did we find a mention of politics. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Again, Clementina Lopez, if you're here. If not, I will try to call, I think it's Melanie or Nelly Perez, maybe. Dr. McGill Jackson. Rochelle Koretz.
Mr. Chair, can I...
Yes.
Thank you very much. Before we hear from the next speakers, there was a number of people who spoke on behalf of the north of Highland Park that was previously in my, it's currently in my council district, but the commission has opted to remove it from my district, and I've heard you loud and clear. We formed a great partnership there, and I'm going to do whatever I can, hopefully with my colleagues, to make sure that that remains in CD14. I'll be working with you on that issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, council people. My husband and I, Jay Blumberg, want to...
And you are?
I'm sorry, I'm Melanie Poses.
Okay, thank you.
To share our serious concern about the 9th Council District's potential redistricting. It is our heartfelt desire to remain in the 9th Council District as it is currently configured, including downtown Los Angeles, Little Tokyo, Skid Row, and South Los Angeles. We invested in the area 8 years ago with our first Park Avenue location south of the 110 freeway on Hill Street. Clearly a transitional neighborhood. Our second location in the historic core also held promise of change, but it was clear the downtown redevelopment momentum had yet to reach Main Street at 6th. Under the leadership and civic involvement of Jan Perry, we have seen both neighborhoods that house our locations strengthen and expand. Jan has rolled up her sleeves and works diligently to create this positive environment, and to carve out the vast majority of our council district would be a travesty and grossly unfair. Please leave our leader in place and allow CD9 to continue our momentum.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you both. Anyway, Dr. Deborah McGill Jackson, Rochelle Koretz, Garrett Smith. Hello.
May I be the first to say good evening, gentlemen? I am Rochelle Koretz. I've been a resident of Los Angeles since 1946, currently residing in Mr. Wesson's wonderful CD10. I am extremely grateful to the Redistricting Commission for their countless hours of dedication to this project, and I am in support of the maps that were the result of their endeavors. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Garrett Smith. I'm here to state the obvious to 5 intelligent council members of your committee. All of you have been in our district. You've all taken the shortcut to the airport. And you go down Stalker and you go to La Cienega and you make that right on La Tijera and you're heading for the airport. You don't say, I'm in CD8. You say, I'm here in Westchester. I'm almost there. I would appreciate it if you put back what has just become known as the Triangle, which was always known as Westchester to us, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Guadalupe Cruz, Angelina Cruz, Samantha Ortega. Guadalupe Cruz, Angelina Cruz, Samantha Ortega. Please. No?
Okay, good afternoon, President. My name is Samantha. I'm a member of Latino Coalition of Los Angeles. I'm a resident of CD10, and I've lived there all my life. And I also work at CD10, and I support the final maps.
Thank you. Keith Ballard, Mitchell and Ophelia, Elaine Gaspar,
Mr.
Please,
Chairman,
go right
council
ahead.
members, my name is Keith Ballard. I'm a 49-year resident of Westchester. It seems to me that the proposed division of Westchester is without purpose or merit, as it creates a small, isolated community whose mailing address might be Los Angeles, but has almost no contact with the city, as it is surrounded by and bordered by Culver City, Inglewood, and LA County, and would be connected to LA City and the distant Council District 8 by a very narrow corridor. It makes far more sense to leave this part of Westchester alone, where the borders of Council District 11 currently match the existing adjacent city and county borders. Therefore, we, the residents of this area, implore you to leave us as part of Westchester. Thank you.
Thank you. Please come forward.
Good evening, Mr. President and council members. I'm Elaine Gaspard, a native Los Angelino, born in the 8th District. I've lived in the 10th District, several other districts of the city, and currently in the 9th. I would just like to say that for 8, 9, and 10, I would say to not accept them as they are presented, and to point one more thing that doesn't make sense with the maps on Council District 9. You've given Council District 9 USC, and remembering that communities of interest are made up of people, you've also taken away the Neighborhood Council Voices 90037, which is a critical part of the USC community, providing student housing and workforce housing, as well as the Figueroa Corridor beyond King Boulevard extending to Gage, which is a major thoroughfare and a connector that brings LA Live, USC, the Coliseum, and people, the linkage between South LA. So I believe that you should extend Council District 9 from King to Gage along Figueroa.
Thank you. Please.
En español.
Español. Good job, Tom. We have you here.
Aló, señor presidente, buenas tardes.
Hello, Mr. President, and good afternoon to everyone.
Yo vengo de la parroquia Santo Tomás, del distrito número 1.
I'm here from Santo Tomás Church in District 1.
Y pertenezco al distrito número 10 y estamos en apoyo a ellos y al mapa.
I belong
que ha elegido.
to District 10, and we're in support of the map for District 10, the one that has been proposed.
Porque en el distrito 10 tengo un pequeño negocio y soy residente de allá.
Because I have a small business in District 10, and I'm also a resident of that district.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Selena Benitez. Ron Cochez or Gomez. Delmy Reese. Please.
So good afternoon. My name is Selena Benitez. I'm the president of South Central Neighborhood Council, which is located in District 9. I'm also a proud educator and resident of District 9, and I'm here because I oppose downtown being removed from District 9. Taking downtown from District 9 will also break the 40 years history of ethnicity and multicultural that CD9 has. It's a huge mistake that will continue to marginalize and will not benefit at all District 9, and it's a change our community will not support. So I'm here to urge you to decline any proposal that breaks CD9, and that's pretty much it, so thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ron Gochez. I'm a member of the Southern California Immigration Coalition and also Vice President of the South Central Neighborhood Council. I'm also a teacher in LAUSD. I teach at Santee Education Complex, which is in District 9. And as a teacher, I can tell you I'm not here for any political reasons. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. This is not about politics. This is about the students that I see on a daily basis who live in the poorest community, in the poorest district of LA, which is the 9th. And this proposal to take away downtown from the already poorest community or district in the city of Los Angeles would be an absolute crime. And I'm here to say this is a matter of social justice. I think the members of this committee and the council at large have two options here. You can listen to the mass majority of the people who have spoken. I'm a history teacher, not a math teacher, but I saw the percentage. The great majority of the people want downtown to stay in CD9. And so you have two choices. You side with the people and take a truly historic and heroic role to save the 9th District, or you can pit yourselves against the people and go with this change. We will not allow it, and as a community organizer, I can promise you, we will mobilize the masses of the people to stop this.
Thank you, Mr. Gochez. Again, Thelmy Ruiz, Julio Espedias, Ozzy Lopez, Jose de la Cruz. Please come forward, sir.
Hello, good evening. I'm Julio Espedias, Vice President of Latino Coalition of Los Angeles. I'm a resident of South Los Angeles, in particular CD9, and I also work in downtown Los Angeles and have worked in Boyle Heights. So I have a different perspective in terms of city and how it is and how it looks. So I'm here in support of the current proposed maps. I believe downtown Los Angeles should be united under one council district. And if it's proposed under CD14, so be it. I believe that since Councilmember Jose Huizar represents currently a portion of downtown Los Angeles, and he will be the only council member after 2013 that understands the issues in downtown Los Angeles. So I believe he has the best interest in that regard. And also, I hear a lot about severing the head of CD9 currently, but I believe that there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of opportunity to create economic development opportunities in South Los Angeles, and I hope the next council member actually rolls up his or her sleeves to actually focus on bringing in economic opportunities into South LA. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please come forward.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es José de la Cruz.
Good afternoon. My name is José de la Cruz.
Soy vecino del Distrito 9
I'm a resident of District 9.
por 32 años.
I've been living there for 32 years.
He vivido ahí y he visto la pobreza.
I have lived there during those years and I have seen poverty.
Que vive la comunidad.
I've seen the poor conditions in which the community resides.
Me preocupa que quieren cambiar el mapa
I am concerned that that you guys want to change the map.
y al hacerse la comunidad va a ser más pobre.
And by doing so, the community will only become poor.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Again, looking for Oscar Lopez, Lark, Callaway, Gillum, General Jeff, James Ebert. Please come forward. And again, if Mr. Lopez, you're here, please let me know. Okay, he's gone here. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Lark Galloway Gilliam. I live in the Leimert Park area. I serve on Empowerment Congress West Area Neighborhood Council board. I am the Executive Director of Community Health Council, which is a nonprofit organization working to improve the health of South Los Angeles. I'm here today to oppose the map for District 8 and 9. The Empowerment Congress West area voted to put all the neighborhoods together, as you heard earlier, but we wanted to be together in the 8th District. We believe we share the same struggle of Greater South Los Angeles around issues of transportation, lack of good grocery stores, health care, basic services, and most importantly, economic development. Excluding USC and the Crenshaw Mall, which serves South Los Angeles, not just the Crenshaw District, from CD8 is a disservice. To exclude the downtown financial district, Little Tokyo, from District 9 is again a disservice to this community and a form of redlining. I ask you to take this into consideration. It is an important issue for our community. District 8 and 9 have the highest rates of unemployment and poverty. We need the economic opportunities, the political influences of these assets. We urge you to put us back together and to stop redlining our community. Thank you.
General, it's good to see you again. I remember you.
Good to see you again, sir, as well. Thank you for having me. Good evening. My name is General Jeff. I'm a proud Skid Row resident, and I'm also on the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council representing said Skid Row community, and I'm also the Vice President of Outreach and Communication. In regards to the map that's currently on the table, Council President Weston, you've done a wonderful job of representing the African Americans in your district. Also in Skid Row and downtown Los Angeles, we also have a strong population of African Americans that we hope that you look out for as well. In regards to communities of interest, the census, the 2010 census, the majority of the population in Skid Row is African American, and the majority of our residents come from South Central Los Angeles to Skid Row. So there's a natural component in regards to the communities of interest component. Also to the north, Skid Row shares a border with the folks in Little Tokyo, and we're working very closely to definitely have some ties there with Bill Watanabe, Reverend Mark Nakagawa, Reverend Tim Yee, and so many wonderful folks in Little Tokyo. So there's a natural progression in terms of a community blend, a natural blend between Little Tokyo, Skid Row, and South Central Los Angeles, and we hope that it remains intact. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Okay, James, please come forward.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jim Ebert, and I'm the Director of Programs with New Image Emergency Shelter. We are a 600-bed homeless shelter located at 38th and Broadway Place. I'm here today on behalf of those 600 homeless individuals who signed a petition unequivocally supporting Councilwoman Jan Perry and asking you not to change the district boundaries. Our shelter places more individuals and families into permanent housing than any other agency in this city. Redistricting would have devastating consequences to our service delivery. Although we are not located in Skid Row, there is no question that our success is interwoven with our trusted Skid Row partners. This relationship took years in the making and is only made possible through the vision and the leadership of Councilwoman Jan Perry's office. Now, for the first time ever, we are seeing unprecedented results in the number of individuals and families moving forward into housing and receiving the supported services to better their lives. To interrupt this process by changing the district lines and moving Skid Row out of CD9 would have a tremendous impact to the thousands of homeless people that we serve. Please keep CD9 intact.
Thank you, sir. Mary Fowler, Joe Manzano, and Susan Palafornio. Please come forward. Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Fowler. I'm kind of late to this whole process. Was disturbed at this being the last day to do anything about anything. I'm a working person. I work long hours, as most of you probably do, but I don't have time to run to meetings. I'm trying to put my head around this whole redistricting. If something is not broken, then why do we have to change it? Why go in and break up a family? Why break up a community that has been working hard and has been changing things in their community and making things start to work? I've lived in Highland Park, Eagle Rock. We're all kind of like a valley there, and all of a sudden we're kind of getting pushed off to somewhere else, and then we're going to have to make other relationships. So I would like you to really consider, I know it must be a difficult job, to please keep Highland Park as part of CD14.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Joe, please come forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, Council Chamber members, and it's Joe Manzano. I'm chair of the Rose Hills Historic Homeowners Association, and thanks to the Redistricting Commission and their hard work and their hard decisions, allowing our community of Rose Hills in the 14th district to remain as one whole community in the 90032 zip code. We're requesting that Ernest B. Debs Regional Park, also in the 90032 zip code, formerly Rose Hills Regional Park, which is part of our community, to remain in the 14th district. We support the amendments of the final draft. Keep us whole. We support the commission. We support the council chamber members and this council. And we support the city of Los Angeles. Thank you from the beautiful community of Rose Hills. God bless.
God bless you as well. Susan.
Polifronio.
One more time for me.
Sorry, Polifronio.
Okay,
You
thank
did very well. Thank you, Mr. President, council members. I appreciate the opportunity to address the committee. I'm past president of the Hollywood United Neighborhood Council. We've had a business on Franklin Avenue, 5911 Franklin Avenue, for 32 years, part of CD4. We've lived for 34 years on Holly Drive, which is also part of CD4, just above Franklin, east of Cahuenga. The proposed change to CD4 is splitting our district on the middle of Franklin Avenue. It means the long-standing relationships that we've had are being severed. The partnerships that we've had working to bring our community together. Even the village neighborhoods are being separated by the division down Franklin Avenue. And this isn't the only thing I'm concerned with. I'm also concerned as a resident and a member of thousands of people north of Franklin Avenue, approximately 50,000 if you go from Whitley Heights all the way to Los Feliz. We are now being severed from our historic Hollywood neighborhood and being told that we really have no right to have any influence on the development that's going to be going on in Hollywood Boulevard, has been going on. I think it's really an opportunity, actually an obligation for you to rectify this injustice and to move part of CD4 back to the middle of Hollywood Boulevard so that thousands of residents will have their voice heard and restore the boundary and allow us to have a real voice in our community and in development. Thank you.
Carlos Vacarano, Susan Neubauer, and Richard Moore. Okay, we'll set there. Okay. Yes, sir.
Mr. President of the Council, Richard Moore, Baldwin Hills.
Thank you.
Lived there 49 years. I'd like to make a point that I attended 2 different law schools, and I do think that the 14th Amendment has been violated. We think we have an equal protection problem. We know we have a due process problem. We've also seemed to have a violation here of the Voting Rights Act. In addition, there seems to be some of the meetings that weren't public, so this violation of the Brown Act. So we're at a problem here where we're filing suits, and what I resent as a private citizen suing my own government and paying for it, and my government using my money to defend themselves. This is what I call double dipping. At this time where we don't have a nickel over car fare, we are now initiating lawsuits because we don't have enough sense to get the lines right. This is not fair. This is not equitable. This is not good, but it's most definitely wrong. Last thing, Mr. President.
Yes.
You will be my councilman. You will be my councilman for 3 years. You haven't asked me for any money to support you. I haven't support you. I have not support you. I have a neighbor sitting over here that ran for the council district. She might like to have a chance to represent the district too. So now, while we're talking here, can we please think about doing this again? And you know we don't have to rush this. It does not have to be finished. You don't have a vote on the 16th. You don't have to have this done on the 30th. Why don't you have it done on June 30th? Take your time and get the job right. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Now, I don't know if I have the CLA spoke earlier, Mr. Moore. The process, can you speak to the timing process? Everybody seems to think that we can vote on June 30th and then move forward. But the process is a tad more convoluted than that. If you wait one moment, I'm going to ask, is Wickham here? Or
John's here, and I'm also.
Okay, so if you could please go forward. John, hustle.
Mr. Wesson, I can address
that. Well, then go to it.
Or John can address it. Basically, the council must approve the ordinance no later than July 1. But part of that ordinance must include all of the maps that are associated with your actual action. So your action eventually in the next week or two would actually trigger instructions to the city attorney and also to the city engineer to begin the drafting of the necessary documents to effectuate any redistricting. So waiting till July 1 would actually be too late. So we actually need to have the instructions made to the appropriate city staff to begin the drafting of the documents to effectuate the redistricting.
And so, Mr. Moore, what I can do, if you want to get some more data on it, maybe you can call my office tomorrow. I'll put you in touch with somebody that can really explain it to you. I don't want to slow down tonight's hearings, but I would gladly put you in touch with someone that could walk you through this process step by step. And I truly appreciate you coming out. And no, I can't do that because if I let you do it, I've opened up Pandora's box. I will make sure. I know, but Mr. Moore, I will allow you, I'm going to put you in touch with them. You'll be able to chat with them, but I can't let you do this now. I will put you in touch with them. I was just trying to answer some of your questions. So with that said, I need Thelmy Ruiz, if she's here. I think did we call up Miss Cruz, Guadalupe Cruz? Carlos Vacarano. Did Suzanne Neubauer or Bauer ever come up? Carmen Castillo. And did we have Adela Barajas? Paul Padre or Radre? Majid? Yes.
Good evening. I am Carmen Castillo, president of the Collaborative Eagle Rock Beautiful. We are a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization located in Eagle Rock with members who live both in Eagle Rock and Highland Park. Since moving to Northeast Los Angeles 8 years ago, I have seen a grassroots community movement evolve with the sole purpose to revitalize and beautify the Eagle Rock Highland Park area, all with the generous support of one council member, Jose Huizar. This community movement has gained tremendous momentum over the last few years as a result of both communities working together as a whole for the gain of one common goal. To separate these two areas would have a detrimental impact to the progress that has occurred within these wonderful neighborhoods. I ask that you please take into consideration the impact separation would have prior to finalizing the area's district map. This is the third time I've read this statement, and I hope it's the charm that keeps the Eagle Rock Highland Park area intact and whole in CD 14. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next, please.
My name is Paul Radke. I'm a member of the Westchester Neighborhood Council. I represent District 11, which has come to be known as the Triangle. As this commission has recommended, we're about to become part of Council District 8, which is nowhere near us. There's no part of District 8 anywhere near us except for a footbridge and a mythical line which travels east about 3 miles. Today, we're happy members of the Westchester community. When this goes through, we'll have no community at all. We'll have Inglewood to the east. We'll have unincorporated Los Angeles County to the north, and Westchester, which we've been thrown out of, to the west. Thank you.
No, thank you, sir. Mr. Majid.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And this is my wife. I also feel stronger when she's with me. Thank you.
That's okay.
And Mr. Chair and the members of the Rules Committee, Little Bangladesh community is grateful for accommodating them within one district. I wish we could be on the same page with our Korean friends, but when it appears to me that it will be too much a difficult process, we would appreciate that the little bit of part that was left over, if that could be even on the Beverly side, on the southern border, from Vermont to Normandy, that will help us, even though we cannot go up to Melrose, Your Honor. And on a personal note, Mr. Labonge, Councilman Tom Labonge is here, excellent leader. Maybe if the map goes as is, we will be missing you. Your leadership in bringing the conflict between the Korean friends and us was remarkable and historic, and we learned from you how to work together in a civil process and engage and bring some good results. We didn't get as much as we wanted, but you gave us very little, and we are still happy because you know how to make people happy. And we hope in this time, at least, Honorable Chair, the district, when the districting is done, this little bit of request is taken with this chamber. And if you kindly permit me, when I was in CRA, Your Honor, as a parliamentarian, the naming of issue of Nate Holden Performing Center came and the community was divided. I was a parliamentarian at that time in the Mid-City CRA, and your staff member knows. And I was able to resolve that issue with the little bit of knowledge that I have, and I'm happy to share this information with you.
Thank you.
Your staff.
Thank you.
Mr. Duran, he's also aware of it. A great friend.
Thank you for all you've done. Okay, Dallas, I think it's Fowler, Wayne Spindler, Alan Compton.
Greetings, council members. I'm Dallas Fowler, longtime resident and business owner in the Westchester area, Westchester Airport area, which is now being called the Triangle for lack of better terms. I grew up in the airport community. I'm a graduate of Westchester High School. Oh, can the time be paused so we have everyone's attention?
Yes, I'll give you extra time.
Okay, thank you, sir. On February 2nd, I attended the LA Redistricting Commission's hearing at the Westchester Recreation Center, and it was an overwhelming response from our community to keep Westchester whole in City Council District 11. There were several council members in attendance. My council member, Bill Rosendahl, Eric Garcetti, Bernard Parks, and Jan Perry, and you, Councilman Wesson, were on the phone, on Bill Rosendahl's phone, who also said that Westchester should be kept whole in the district. 4 minutes, if you look into that tape, the commissioner, Arturo Vargas, he announces that it was his apologies and it was an inadvertent error. The Triangle now is bordered by, as the other gentleman was saying, Inglewood, Culver City, and other areas of unincorporated LA. We're 5 minutes from the airport. We identify with the airport community. This is not about race. It's not about class. It's about public integrity. And for it to go on record that this was an inadvertent error and the map still not be fixed, and this be my third time here making the same question, asking you all to keep your integrity and keep Westchester whole in the District 11. It's actually despicable, and I hope that this is something that could be fixed. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, Ms. Fowler, just for your information, the City Council has not taken one vote. We just received this information. So we will be voting, but we have not voted. What we are doing is we are going through the map that was given to us by the commission. So at the end of the day, within your statement kind of confused me then. But anyway, thank you.
Oh, no, I was speaking about the commission. I was not speaking about the council members.
Okay.
My apologies
That's
if that
fine.
was missed.
No, that's fine. We get beat up all the time, so it's okay if you want to. Come on, Mr. Thank you, though. Wayne Spindler, Alan Compton.
All right. Well, we have the maps, and now it begins. So somebody asked me, would I support Eric Garcetti for mayor?
Let's speak to the
if he would
subject.
Yeah, well, you don't like what I'm going to say because you know what I'm going to say.
No, I don't care what you say, Wayne. But what I'm saying, the subject is redistricting.
Yeah.
It's not about any mayoral campaign. It's not about anybody running for anything. You want to speak to the maps, redistricting, go right ahead. This is nothing political. Stay on the maps, and I will give you all your time back. Be assured of that. Go ahead.
So if you put Koreatown, which district would you put it in, 10 or 13? And most of the people, the vast majority, would like the whole neighborhood council borders put into 13. So now, as we see, you're not going to do that. You're going to carve it up into two pieces like North and South Korea, LA style. And so what you want to do is you don't want to give them a unified voice, but you want the economic benefits of the community, but you don't want to give them a voice in government. So obviously you're going to change the rules on comment, But the point is that that unified community would be a very powerful voting bloc, and if it gets put into 13 directly, that would greatly increase his chances of becoming the next mayor. So that's something to think about when you guys go in the back and do the real bickering and dealing with all of this, because at the end of the day, you're going to make these deals not in the open. They're going to be done behind closed doors. So I want to just bring that attention to CD 13's representative, that he may want to consider that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. But the election for mayor, Wayne, is for the entire city, not just CD 13. Donna Bradley, Daniel Lee, Robert Kang, please come forward if you're here. And then I want to make a last call for, we called some of these people earlier, they didn't come up. Keith Ballard, Susan Neubauer, and again Carlos Vacarano and Mitchell from CD 14. Good evening now, gentlemen.
Good evening. My name is Robert Kang, and I speak on behalf of the Korean American Bar Association of Southern California. And we support, as hundreds, if not thousands, also support placing the Wilshire Center Koreatown Neighborhood District into CD 13. Now I'm going to take off my hat, my official hat, and speak on my own personal behalf to express my grave concern, also expressed last night, that this Commission's actions are giving rise to an impression that you are rubber stamping a knowingly flawed and defective map. The problems with the Redistricting Commission are well documented in the LA Times, the LA Weekly, and elsewhere. For example, the map was drawn behind closed doors with the express purpose of avoiding the open meeting requirements of the Brown Act. During the February 8th public hearing, dozens of WCKNC supporters were put to the end of a 5-hour line. These give rise to the impression that it was done intentionally to stifle their voice. And this Commission's response is to put in an expedited schedule. And I understand the reasons that you say it is needed to give your staff time to respond, but that's having the tail wag the dog. In addition to that, I'm also concerned by the fact that there are no hearings being held in the contested areas, such as WCKNC. Instead, they are being held in places like San Pedro or Van Nuys, which again gives rise to the impression that voices are being kept away. Last night, people testified that they didn't even know about this hearing until 2 days. You only have to look at this room that has almost no commenters versus the Commission hearing meetings, which had hundreds of people.
Oh, there were hundreds here today. It was a big crowd today. And you should move to your close.
Very well. In this case, I urge you, this council, to put WCKNC into CD 13 and to give yourselves, at the very least, the time to make a reasonable and reasoned decision. Thank you.
No, thank you for coming, sir. Mr. Lee and Donna Bradley. Okay, Mr. Lee, go right ahead, sir.
Good evening, Chairperson and also fellow council members. My name is Daniel Lee. I'm a chairperson of a Koreatown Development Committee, also board member of Korean American Chamber of Commerce of Los Angeles. On behalf of business communities in our community in Koreatown, we oppose the map currently drawn by the commission that puts the Koreatown into 3 different districts and divided into 3 different districts, which was clearly against the wills of the people that have come out in force in the last few months of this redistricting process. Once again, we, the business communities within the Koreatown expresses our desire to put the community in one single district, which is in City 13. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Richard Kim, Alex Cha, Linda Wilson. Please, Linda Wilson. Yes, sir. Please.
Good evening, committee members. My name is Richard Kim. I'm the Executive Vice President of the neighborhood Worcester Center Koreatown Neighborhood Council. At this time, I'd like to reiterate and strongly oppose the map that has been submitted by the Commission to the Council. Again, the Worcester Center Koreatown Neighborhood Council would like to be in District 13 in whole, and that is our stance at this point. And also, we feel that the map that was submitted to the council has been, there was a flaw to the whole process. And again, just like the previous speaker has said, that the process was flawed. It was behind the closed doors, violated the Brown Act, and we are opposed to that. And we also asked the council to slow down the whole process of voting. I think this is it's a rush process to vote for the map. People should be given the opportunity to be heard of their grievance. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, Mr. Cha, and then Ms. Wilson, or Ms. Wilson. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Alex Cha. I'm an attorney and an executive board member of Worcester Center Koreatown Neighborhood Council. I was one of the people that were here this morning. About 200 of us came to be heard by the full council because it's so hard for the full council to hear us. We also met with many members of the council again today. We adamantly opposed the proposed map. That the map is unacceptable was voiced by us this morning. I went to many of the hearings during the commission, redistricting commission, and we were not heard. The whole redistricting process with the commission was a disgrace. Even though many of us here that came love the city of LA, you are compelling us to file a lawsuit. And we will file a lawsuit. And I'm actually looking forward to what the lawsuit and the discovery process would uncover regarding the inner workings of the council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Wilson. In fact, Ms. Wilson, you will be followed by David Rue, Greg from, I think that's Cowan, and Vivian Bowers. Please.
Good evening, council, ladies and gentlemen. Seemed like the ladies were left out in the welcome. My name is Linda Wilson. I am a business owner on historic Central Avenue. My family has been living and doing business in Council District 9 for over 100 years. I am opposed to the redistricting map as it is today, currently submitted, and it seems like everyone in the city, in every community, is opposed to this map. With that being said, take heed to what is in the best interest of the residents. The best interest is what is going to make Los Angeles what it is and what it has been, whether it's backdoor deals or whatever. In the Central Avenue District, we are the most multi-ethnic district within the city. We have people from Iran, El Salvador, Korea, and the Asian continent. So I would urge you to dispose of this map and start it again. Thank you.
Hey, Ms. Wilson, did you see Greg Cowan? Has he left? And what did you say? Would you read his name into the record for me correctly? You said you knew him? You didn't pronounce his name, or?
Ms. Cowan, right, Vivian? Cowan.
Cowan?
Cowan. C-O-W-E-N?
Yes, Cowan.
A-N.
So he is here. Okay, if you could get at the back of the line, I didn't want to lose you. Okay, next is, thank you again, Ms. Wilson, very much. David Rue, followed by Vivian Bowers, and then Mr. Cowan.
Hello, my name is David Rue. Today I'm here as a voter, resident of Koreatown, and the Neighborhood Council, Worcester Center Koreatown Neighborhood Council board member. Koreatown is predominantly moderate to low income, limited English speaking, working class families of predominantly Latino and Asians, Korean, Bangladeshi, Filipino, and Mongolian. We are asking for Worcester Center Koreatown Neighborhood Council to be whole and in the 13th district. Why the 13th? Because we desire to be in a coalition district where there is no one interest or stakeholder that dominates, but a district that is bound by similar communities of interest, yet diverse enough where we would hope that one day to elect a future council member who will be responsive not just to the needs of the Korean American community, but to all communities and interest groups throughout the district. What we want is what all communities want. We want parks, community centers, low to moderate income housing. So please keep us whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rue. Ms. Bowers and then Mr. Cowan. Good evening, Ms. Bowers.
Good evening, Council President Wesson and committee. My name is Vivian Bowers, and I represent Central Avenue Business Association, as well as I am a stakeholder. I'm third-generation business owner. We've been in business for 62 years in the Great Ninth on South Central, historic South Central. The Redistricting Commission has done us a very big disfavor. They have not listened to the majority of voices that were spoken, that have been spoken today, that have been spoken repeatedly. This is my fourth or fifth presentation, and I ask that you listen to the voices of the people. An injustice done anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, as said by Dr. Martin Luther King, and whatever affects one affects the whole. And what you have done, or what they have done, the commission, with this map has affected the whole city, and you all have heard from us, but are you listening to us? And I ask that the personal careerisms be set aside and the will of the people be done. Keep the Great Ninth whole. We have a lot of work to do. We have done a lot of work. The people have pride in their community now. We work together with downtown Los Angeles, and we continue, and we want to continue our growth and our development. Thank you.
No, thank you. Greg Cowan, and followed by Leonard Del Pitt and Hai-Pin In. Yes, sir.
I am Greg Cowan. I'm also a business stakeholder in the Central Avenue area. Longtime resident of Pasadena, grown to love the 9th District. One of the things I've seen, I was born in Union Springs, Alabama. I'm from Tuskegee. I've witnessed redistricting at its highest levels, and I watched them basically destroy Tuskegee in favor of downtown Opelika and Montgomery. I see the same thing happening to the 9th. As you begin to draw these lines, understand you're creating what is tantamount to a permanent underclass society set up in a district where you can permanently, you might as well just wall it off, build moats around it, and just keep it where it is. I'm sad to see it, but I'm going to tell you, only two things can happen. It's either going to rust or it's going to boil over. I hope you take what these people have said very seriously at this point.
Thank you, sir. Leonard Del Pitt.
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Leonard Del Pitt. I'm here to express my concerns. I live in the 8th District. I'm a 48th Assembly District delegate and a former board secretary to the Parliament Congress Central Area Neighborhood Development Council. And what I found that you guys took away USC from my district, the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall from my district, and also Leimert Park. And these are strongholds that we had for many, many years. So I am very unhappy. I am not pleased. And the stakeholders from my community are very, very upset. So I would ask you to go back into your chambers, reconsider, and include USC, Baldwin Hills Mall in the Baldwin Hills area, and the Leimert Park back into the 8th District, because that's our stronghold.
Thank you, sir. Hai-Pin.
Good evening, Council President Wesson and all the other council members. Thank you again for your time. I'm here simply to say that we do not approve the map. This morning, there was an overwhelming presence from faith community, students, community leaders, and the like. Our community never comes out. The fact that they have come out in such numbers says that really we do not like the map. We want to have a chance to be able to have a representative who can respond to our requests. And so again, we would like the Wilshire Koreatown Neighborhood Council all in the 13th District. We ask again for your voice for justice. and for access. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. That is our last public comment card. There, Madam Clerk, there's no further business before this committee. Mr. Weezar, did you?
Yes.
Yes, Mr.
We
Weezar.
have some comments from committee members. Are we going to have comments from committee members?
If you'd like.
Sure. Yes. I just want to respond to some of the issues that were raised today. And, as far as the northeast area goes, there are a number of speakers who came to speak about north of York on Highland Park. We heard that loud and clear, and we will attempt to fix that. But the fact is that Council District 14 has lost several communities in northeast Los Angeles, and that really was a result of numbers. If you look at Council District 1, Council District 13, and Council District 14, each one of them had to grow by about 20,000 or more. Collectively, it amounts to 66,000 people where CD1, 13, and 14 need to grow. And the crux of that happens in the northeast part of the city of Los Angeles, where Council District 14 is then pushed down as CD1 and CD13 grow into that area, and hence the movement into more of downtown. CD14 currently represents about 40% of downtown, and it had to go somewhere. It couldn't go east to the unincorporated part of East Los Angeles, couldn't go to Pasadena, couldn't go to Glendale, because those are other jurisdictions. And the downtown area was an obvious release valve for that growth. And considering that we had a number of people that came to also speak to have downtown Los Angeles be one community of interest, it was fitting what the Commission did, in my point of view. In fact, 20 written comments and 61 verbal comments were submitted asking the Commission to keep downtown whole in a single council district in the last couple of Commission meetings. 372 people signed a petition in support of a single council district for downtown. 8 map submissions supported placing downtown community in a single council district. Only 3 map submissions supported continuing to split downtown Los Angeles. On top of that, you have a downtown neighborhood council, which is specifically there for all of downtown as a single community of interest. And the Los Angeles Times neighborhood map points to the downtown area being one single area of interest for the city of Los Angeles. In this point of time in the city of Los Angeles, we've often had shifting ties with different areas of downtown Los Angeles, no matter where you look. In fact, Councilmember Roybal once represented the 9th that included Boyle Heights to the east, downtown Los Angeles, and Pico Union to the west. Those things constantly change depending on what is the appropriate time at that time. And with respect to historical ties, downtown has historical ties all around it, east, south, west, and north. And in terms of economic development, I think there have been some very serious matters raised with respect to the economic engine that downtown Los Angeles provides for South Los Angeles. But in today's reality, if you look at downtown Los Angeles, it's an economic engine for all of the city of Los Angeles. And we, as a council, as a legislative body, have a duty to ensure that whenever new jobs are created in downtown Los Angeles, that everyone, and particularly our lowest income neighborhoods, benefit from that. And it's not for one particular political jurisdiction or another. When you could look north and you have Lincoln Heights from downtown Los Angeles, you look east, you have Boyle Heights, you look south, you have South Los Angeles, you look west, you have Pico Union. All these neighborhoods are very low income neighborhoods. And if you look at the household median income of the neighboring council districts, they're all relatively the same. And so we, as a legislative body, have a duty to ensure that downtown is here as an economic engine for all these neighborhoods and for all of the city of Los Angeles. And that is our duty, and that's what we hope to do as we create those policies to make jobs and economic development available for everyone. Just as each and every day there are about 500,000 people who come to downtown LA to work, and they come from all over the region. But as legislators, we have a duty to make sure that it benefits all low-income areas as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weezar. And before we adjourn, I want to thank all of the staff that has worked long hours. And, I mean, you really did a yo person's job, and we wouldn't be at this point if it weren't for you. But seeing, Mr. Barnes, there's no more business.
I just want to say thank you for the hearing. Thank you for the public. I just want to give a shout out to Eleanor Levy, who's watching this on and from Toluca Lake on TV.
All right. Again, with that, this committee's adjourned.